Alright, hit the go live. Then check my sound settings. We are using the right microphone, though it's not tipped up. Don't disconnect it or it makes really bad noise. Okay, we're good. We're good. Alright, hit the go live. Then check my sound settings. We sound okay. It's currently a tied vote. And yeah, I gotta ping the peoples. Boom. So, stream is up. We have 1 minute left till we're supposed to start this shindig, and Kislev takes the vote, so fuck it, we're going Kislev, because I gotta do something. Dirty Deeds Free, how you doing, Mr. Casual, Mick Rightface, Biggs, the Phoenix King, and Columbius Prime. I know it's a black screen, because I haven't actually started my game yet, but we need to go over here right away. Boop, boop, boop. So, we asked our lovely patrons over at Patreon what kind of tournament they wanted to see this weekend, and they said a single faction tournament. Well, that clearly is a very popular choice. A ton of people signed up, etc., and stuff. We are at 12 o'clock. There's a lot of people waiting on us. We had 45 signups, 38 of them checked in. Let me just check it and make sure everybody who checked in declared a faction. Yes. No faction not checked in. No faction not checked in. Yes. Yes, no faction not checked in. Okay, cool. So everybody who checked in should have done it by now. We had our stream vote on what I should play because there's plenty of Skavens. So Kislev was unrepresented, and I decided to play as them. I still don't think we have a single Empire, Warriors of Chaos, or Demons of Chaos, but some people might have switched around. Participants. Shuffle. I'm only going to shuffle once because I need to shut up. Shut up, Warhammer 3. I need to make sure first round matchups aren't terrible. Dark Elves versus Nurgle is pretty terrible, so I'm going to switch out Nurgle and Slaanesh, because Slaanesh versus Dark Elves is fine. Bretonnia versus Wood Elves, tough for Wood Elves. Dwarves versus Khorne is really tough for Khorne. So what we're going to do... Those dwarves have to move, but we'll deal with that. Tomb Kings and Dwarves is pretty bad for Tomb Kings. We're going to take Iron General. We'll have Lizardmen versus Dwarves. These Dwarves still need to move, and these Wood Elves need to move. Lizards versus Wood Elves is fine. Bretonnia versus Greenskins I think is fine, but Umbrella thinks is pretty favored. But what if we do swap Reno that out? Now we have Tomb Kings versus Greenskins, and then Bretonnia gets a bye round. Still need to move those Dwarves. Got it. Kislev and Skaven. That's fine. Slightly Skaven favored, but I will deal with that. Vampire Counts, Norsca, and Ogres. Those are all fine. Tomb Kings and VC. Feels pretty bad for the Tomb Kings. Let's do Dwarves VC, because that used to be Dwarf favored, so maybe they can do something there. We'll do Dwarves VC. We'll have Tomb Kings versus Khorne. That should be okay. VP, Cathay, and VC. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one. The two OPs. Then we have Norsca and Dark Elves. It's bad for Norsca. Ogres and Nurgle. That's honestly fine. Khorne and High Elves. That's fine. Slightly Khorne favored, maybe. Rats and High Elves. It's okay. It's rat favored. What was another one that I wanted to deal with? Norsca and Dark Elves. Okay. Yeah, that's rough. Crowfather. What the hell? Bird, what did you end up doing? I thought I saw you out of a thing. Can I can play Salinator? Did he check in? Oh, God. All right, reactivate. Shuffle. Damn it. Okay, we got him back, I think. Is Salinator in here now? I don't want to leave a person behind. There he is. He's back. Okay, real quick. Wood Elves, Lizardmen, fine. Lizardmen VC, honestly, fine. Norsca Dwarves, sucks for Norsca. Rats Slaanesh, sucks for Rats. So let's go Norsca Slaanesh, but then that makes Dwarves versus Rats, which is not good. So let's do Khorne versus Rats, and Dwarves get a bye. Dwarves versus High Elves. It's not fun, but it's fine. Bird, what did you end up doing? I have a bunch of... Oh, God, a bunch of DMs. What the fuck? Deal with that later. I don't know what Bird did, but he's versus VC. Khorne, Cathay. Ooh, that sucks real bad for Khorne. Let's do Kislev, Cathay. But then Khorne Dark Elves sucks for Khorne, so we'll do... What the fuck? I didn't want to switch Cathay into Dark Elves. Though honestly, actually, that works out. Cathay Dark Elves is fine. Ogres, Nurgle Tomb Kings, Bretonnia Norsca, Dark Elves Skaven. Ooh, that's bad. And these are Tomb Kings, so we'll do Tomb Kings Skaven, and then Dark Elves get a bye round. Beastmen VC, that's terrible for Beastmen. VC Lizardmen, that's fine. Dark Elves Nurgle, that's terrible for Nurgle. So what did I... Beastmen got to switch out? Let's do Dark Elves VC, and then we'll have Nurgle Beastmen. Dark Elves High Elves sucks for High Elves. Lizardmen Nurgle is fine. So we'll have Greenskins versus High Elves, and then Race will get a bye round. Okay. Okay, we should be good to go. Malagor. Okay. So Beastmen VC is bad, so I'm going to take the Dwarves up here. Dwarves VC, and then the Beastmen get arrive. Got him. Alright, start the tournament. At here, go, go, go. Only wait for stream if I ask / semis. Okay, should be good. That was a whole thing. Where am I again? Oh yeah, I have to fight Hanadans. That's fine. Okay, I gotta go find my opponent, then I'll catch up with chat and stuff. I'm trying to get drop kicked by another Void alt. I used to think Dwarves versus Vampire Counts was unwinnable for Vampire Counts. But it has since changed. All right, so we got Hanadans. Oh, chat popped off. Oh, chat popped off. There's so many people. Hi. Hi, everybody. What up, Swiss Pikeman? Kislev won? Yes. Kislev did win. I can change if you want. It's fine. Need some time, Doey. The hell, just give me dwarves back. Sorry, Hanadans. Muffin, yeah. The patrons voted for it, and the patrons were clearly right. Ian, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I did my best. Fight VC. Khorne's pretty decent right now. Khorne's fun. Khorne's very fun. I'd still rate them like slightly below average as far as factions go, but they're not the worst. Alright. Time to go fight Hanadans. Nope. I was talking to stream. I'll let him host. Whew! Whew! It is nice having a lot of people playing. It feels good. It feels nice. It's also a lot to manage. I'm not used to this. Normally my tournaments have like 12 people, and then it's pretty easy to wrangle all those cats. Hey, bird. Yeah, Black Knight, I saw you matched into Umbrella, but I'd already shuffled the bracket twice, and I was like, oops. I gotta get this going. You can. I believe in you. All right, we got to do tournament favorites. There's 41 people, so if I predict who correctly wins this tournament, I am a god. I have 2 picks and a dark horse. Hadri's beat me in Turin's Faction War. He's currently playing Nurgle. I think Nurgle sucks, but I am going to put Hadri's in there. Number 1, absolutely going to win the whole tournament, but in case he does not, I am going with... Azrael of Asura on Vampire Counts, very strong faction with a very strong player. He got quite far in Hanneden's last, well, I think it's 2 Champions of the Grail ago, but got very far in Hanneden's tournament. I think he either won the whole thing or he got second. I can't remember. So those 2 will be my winners, and my dark horse is going to be Pink Pony Knight on the Dwarves, because the couple times I've gotten to spectate him have been an absolute joy. So I want him to go far so I can see him again. Turin's faction war, what do you speak of? It was in December. Hadri's beat me on... Hadri's beat me with Dark Elves versus my Skaven. And a lot of silly things happened in that game. But even if they had all gone my way, I probably still would have lost. So it's not a big deal. But it was just funny. It was le funny. You can't find your opponent, Spartan? Sage Dark. I have to look for Sage Dark. Where to find Sage Dark? Sorry, somebody's looking for their opponent. GGX Spartan. Okay. Sorry. Someone was asking me about this thing. All right, we have Khorne Kislev while I try to figure this out. Beep, boop. Your opponent requests violence. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets their people. We're good. We're good, everybody. Sorry for the delays. A lot of shit going on. Okay, I am Kislev versus Khorne. Oh, I'm sure there's some degenerate build to deal with this, but I haven't had to do that in a while. Do I want Boris Ursus? Do I want Boris? I fought Lucinio in this matchup a while ago and I lost it. What can I learn from that? I really like the Tsarina. I really like her, so I'm gonna go with her. Let's go Deathfrost. Heart of Winter? No, just Heart of Winter. Otherwise, we want to make her as cheap as possible. She is very cheap. I'll put her on a horse to try and run away, but she's probably going to get Rampage. But I want a super cheap Lord. I want to go wide otherwise. Okay, what to do now? The armor-piercing armored Kossars make a great front line. Couple of these. Couple Ice Guard with Glaives for their magic arrows plus anti-large. Means if they get attacked by Fleshhounds, they can just fend off the attack. Another Streltsy. And how many range units does that put me at? 9? Cool. Oh, wait, we're just doing unit caps. Yeah, we're just doing unit caps. Okay, I don't have to care about any of that fruit rule stuff. Aha! Suck it, fruit rules. How dare you make an effective system to try and let us have as much fun as possible. Fuck you. Okay, so we have a bunch of shooty shoot. I want more Winged Lancers. Downgrade 2 of you to this? I could. What are the Kossars or Spears really for? I think I was just putting those in because I'm used to putting them in. Okay, and then I can upgrade you guys back into the armor piercing. This is fine. I don't know the matchup super well, so this could be dumb, but this seems fine. A little bit of heavy cav, a lot of shooting, Heart of Winter to punish any big blobs or anything. Yeah. Sure. Hey, Trigger. Hey, Rinless. I should have signed up. You were being lazy. Got him. Okay, alright. We're good. Sorry for the awkward start. I'm doing a lot of organizing. Whew! Black, great play on Friday night. Black Knight's a good player. What faction? Lizards? Oh, no. Bird plays Beastman or Britannia usually. I'm not super confident in this build, but I am curious. I want the Ice Guard with Glaives to work. And it's a fun tournament, so if I lose, it's fine. But I want to try these guys. Whew! We're going to sit in desk mode. I was going to stand, but you know what? No. No! Are the bears bad now? No, the bears aren't bad. They just need healing support, which I don't feel like bringing. I just wanted to try something else. Because I lost this matchup to Licinia. He was on Khorne. I had Boris and the Bear Blob, but that was so much of my roster that like they were doing well, but everything else got completely run over. And then he could cycle charge me to death and stuff, so I don't know. I also think Bears took a little bit of a hit in this matchup when the Minotaurs got their buffs, because now you can bring anti-large, armor-piercing, monstrous infantry for relatively lower cost. Go make all the touchdowns and win, Spirit of the Gorg. Thank you for the donation, and I will try. Okay, what are we dealing with? Very similar troop counts. I am down on the balance of power, which feels great. And we have Ice Guard with Glaives positioned to hold off Flesh Hounds if I need to. Eltharion today. Ooh. I thought you were the Knights of Caledor. Or did you sign up as Tor Yvresse? Okay, I'm going to turn guard mode on the Streltsy. I'm not turning guard mode on the Ice Guard because they're actually decent melee combatants, so if they get attacked, I do want them to turn around and fight back. Let's pair... What the hell? Why do I have Kossovite Durishes on the outside? Oh, I guess they'll eat the charge from Flash Hounds, but it was definitely an autopilot move. Okay, we'll keep one Wing Lancer in the back, just in case, and then all you guys. Wonder if Khorne will bring magic. Ha! So funny! So funny. Won't be able to watch the stream today. Hope you have a fun range of matches. Thanks, Way. I almost tried it, your first name again. And then I remembered I'm not supposed to do that. Only Human Boy can be down balance power to Khorne. Alright, we do have Minotaurs, a lot of them. We also have a Skull Cannon and a bunch of basic Marauders. Looks like we're getting ourselves a little bit of Skull Cannon kite, and there's something way behind me. It's Flesh Hounds. I'll try and run at it with these Winged Lancers and just see what we can get. They're faster than the Winged Lancers, so it'll be about whether they notice that we're running at them. Ow! I took a lot of damage from that Skull Cannon. That was not nice. Okay. We're out there fighting. Gonna keep moving up. Keep moving up. Not you. Winged Lancers caught the Flesh Hounds on the back. I'm out to that Nurgle grind. Ian, what? Who beat you and how? And how dare they? Okay, I'm gonna watch out for the spear thingy because some of these guys are grouping up rather fierce and I don't like it. Flesh Hounds in the back, slowly losing to these Lancers. And the Demon Shield is active for her, but still. Dodge that as best I could. We'll get a little poke in. Lancer's still taking out Flesh Hounds, though honestly not that cost effectively. And Streltsy, this is a distraction, so we're going to move you up onto Minotaur poking duty. And we'll set our cavalry up to flank. Still working on these Flesh Hounds, not quite able to get rid of them entirely. And if that lady really wants to dive on me, she'll get a face full of she'll get a face full of arrows. Wow, Fleshhounds are really grinding well against those Winged Lancers. That's rather alarming. Dervish, get a rear charge over there. All these Streltsy are just going to have to honestly hold so the Ice Guard can get good damage in. Okay. I will use that. Okay, so we got a good thing off over there. Fleshhounds are really doing quite well. I am surprised, shocked, and alarmed. But that Art of Winter should be nice. It's not turning out as nice as I would have liked. Winged Lancers try to protect the Tsarina. She runs away. You guys get a rear charge over here. Fortunately, the Minotaurs here have rallied. They were real close to routing, but they did rally. Khorne is stomping all over us. This does not appear to be going well at all. The Fleshhounds did kill an entire Winged Lancer on the back line. Oh, Winged Lancers. Whenever anybody tells me you guys are secretly good, I use you, and then I realize you're trash. They're not trash, they're just not ideal. I do think this is GG. It's looking real bad. The Ice Guard did not do enough DPS at range. They had a lot of time to shoot, and they just didn't make the most of it. Streltsy got rolled over pretty heavily. My Cav component didn't do any damage, unfortunately, even when I put them in good situations. So the Cav was just a mistake. Overall, it was a pretty subpar build in practice. GG, well played. But oh well. Yeah. The Ice Guard run it ended up just not being a solid investment. Streltsy also got completely cucked. It was a slaughtering. Minotaurs did very, very well. Fleshhounds did incredibly well. Even though I got the charge on them with heavily armored Cav, they still just ground it out and beat them. That's pretty funny. Valkia did fine. She was like full HP at the end, but yeah, it was overall a pretty bad stomp. Rip. Cause yeah, 2,300 in the Ice Guard, and they got about 1,200 value back. That's pretty bad. Oof. Oof. Okay, I gotta check in some adsmin things. Actually, tragic loss of Winged Lancer to Fleshhound. Kind of BS. You lost because of Skull Cannon? Oh, obviously. Streltsy never shoot for me either. Yeah. I think it was just a really solid build from Hanniden's, and my build clearly had some flaws. Because I wanted to try out the Ice Guard, but that wasn't a great choice. Whoopsies. Oh well. Sometimes you win, sometimes you win harder. Neptune beat Ian 0. Never heard of Neptune, but Nurgle is a fierce opponent. Okay, we could follow Hanniden's, or we could try and get some new blood here. I need Dom practice? No. I will find us a game, don't you worry. Kark. Where is Kark? And while he answers, I will get a blocker up to respect the combatants in this most serious of settings. Okay. That game is done. Pink Pony Knight and Brutus. Oh. Jam, Vermin Lake gain 0. Carp for Spiggy Smalls. Looks like a bunch of rounds are finishing up. So we'll see when people report their scores. There it is. We can see Hadries versus Tactical Lich. Okay. Hadries and Tactical Lich. Why the hell can't Discord find him? What the hell? Okay. Sorry for the delay. I got knocked out real fast. Then the rest of the first rounders weren't done yet, and it was hard to find a game. Who's he in 0? He's been playing a lot of Vermin League and stuff. What up, Tom Bombadil? Unlucky hubs, Krell? Sometimes it's unlucky. That was just a bad build. I just did dumb. Sometimes you fuck up. Okay. Rat123 host as spectator. So it looks like neither of these guys has a lobby up. So we will just get a lobby going. And it looks like it's going to be Nurgle versus Ogres, which I haven't seen this matchup in forever, so I actually have no idea how it's played right now. I'm very curious to see how Hadries will handle it. Because the Ogres, I can generally assume what they would do, but Hadries, no idea what Nurgle does. As far as I know, Hadri's been playing a lot more Dom than land battles, but I mean, he certainly has like the pedigree of land battles in his history, so I'm pretty sure he just knows how to slap together a build. Khorne versus Skaven. Yeah, normally Khorne doesn't bring a lot of infantry. Normally they just try to stick to like dogs, minotaurs, single entities, and furies and crap. I shouldn't have played humans. Yeah. That was my downfall. Death with Demon Lord. Yeah, you made that Demon Lord look pretty good. I think he's too expensive from what you told me his cost was, but you made him look pretty good. Nurgle's always had nice lords, though. Like, Kugath is good if your enemy doesn't have a lot of archers or artillery. Kugath got that 14k HP pool? Hell yeah. But Ogres got Big Daka. We got Lead Belchers, we got Iron Blasters, we got Noblar Trappers with little miniguns if you have the mods for it. You have Ogre Pistols, you have Scrap Launchers, you have Harpoon Launchers in the back of giant rhinoceros things. I mean, how much more do you need? But actually, I actually have no idea. My brain would tell me the Ogres have a lot of good stuff here. Like, I feel like Crushers are going to have a good time. Even though I shit on Crushers constantly. I feel like Crushers would be rather uncontested here. Ogres in general should just be doing fine. Leadbelch should be... I don't know. On paper, this sounds like every Ogre unit is just going to have a blast and Nurgle's going to get fucked. But we'll see what Hadri's can do. Sub Spellbound. Been enjoying Doomflayers recently with my Wolf Rats. Doomflayers are fun. I don't think they're terrible anymore. I think they're decidedly meh. But they're not that bad. Ogres be feeling good lately? Yeah, I don't know what changed, but Ogres have been actually feeling, like, very nice. All right. Round 2 is kicking off, it looks like. People getting going. Who did I say was going to win all this shit? I said Hadri's, because he beat me, so he had to win. For the Dark Horse, I went with Pink Pony Knight. Pink Pony Knight's out, so my Dark Horse is out. I went Azrael, that's it. I went Azrael, and he got beat by Caradoc. So far, Hadri's is my last prediction that's still in. So yeah, I guess I'm rooting for Nurgle. Let's go. I'm sorry, Lucinia. If it helps any, I already talked about you twice on the stream today because I played Kislev into Khorne, and last time I played that it was versus you, and we had a super close game, but you won. I tried a different build than the one I took versus you, and it did very poorly. I got murdered. So I think the build I had versus you was better, but clearly not good enough because I still obviously lost that one. But I tried some Ice Guard. They did okay. They didn't pay for themselves, and it was a mistake to take them. But that's, I don't know, like, the problem with the Ice Guard wasn't like the Ice Guard being terrible. It was, they were there as kind of like a backline defense against Fleshhounds, which there was one, so then they were just very expensive archery units, and Minotaurs didn't give a shit, so I don't know, it was, I don't know. It wasn't a smart addition. One second. Yeah. All right, we're all ready. Let's go. I was a spectator. I forgot I have to ready up even. I never played against you, Human Boy. At least I don't ever remember playing against you as of yet. Okay. All right. No, okay. That's fine. No, that's okay. Why don't you just... No, it's okay. Okay. My feelings aren't hurt. My feelings aren't... Why don't we just go find it? Why don't we just go find it? Oh, it's a Leia. Damn it. It was a Leia Yacta Est. It was not you, Lucinia. I'm sorry. Because I made a video about it, and that's why I was being so smug and smarmy. But it wasn't you. Is Falcon actively playing? No. Hell no. Hadri's playing Nurgle? Is this some weird alternate universe? I have no idea what Hadri's plays these days. Anyway, if anybody sees anything weird, we are playing with just unit caps on. Slightly simplified, so don't worry about fruit rolls and whatever, because the unit caps will take care of the stuff. So if it's on the battlefield, it's fine. I'd love to play with against me. Everybody does. It's an easy win, easy dub. Weird. Well, we should play it sometime then. That's an easy dream to make come true. Okay, sorry, I gotta focus on this game. There's some stuff going on in the Discord that I have been getting distracted by. We have 5 Nurglings from Hadri's in the Vanguard, some Chaos Warhounds and Chaos Furies, a huge Vanguard here from Hadri's. As far as the rest of his army that is in Vanguard, we have Plague Drones of Nurgle. These are like the Knight versions, like kind of like Pegasus Knights, but they don't have the ranged attack. Then we have Double Exalted Hero. This is really, really good. The Exalted Heroes of Nurgle are an incredible unit, so taking 2 of them is generally wise. A Beast of Nurgle, I legitimately have not seen a single one of these since Immortal Empires launched. And the Demon Prince of Nurgle, I was just singing his praises because Butcherbird took him recently. So, good for you, Demon Prince of Nurgle, being back at it. For Tactical Lich's Ogres builds, we do have double Man-Eaters with Great Weapons, a bunch of Ogre Bulls, 2 Lead Belchers, 4 Noblar Trappers, a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw with Bone Crusher and Troll Guts, some Sabertusk packs in the back, and Noblars in the front. Great map for Vanguarding, as Phoenix King showed last week. Yeah. I don't know if you know, but Hadri's is your biological father. Yeah, he told me. Yeah, he told me, yeah. Hi, dog. How you doing? How you doing? Let's see how the Vanguard goes. I think these Nurglings are just going to get eaten alive. I have little faith in Nurglings. Look at these little squishy bastards. The Nurgle animations are incredible. They're just bouncing around. What the dog doing? Looks like Tactical Lich is assessing his situation. I don't know if he knows that the entire Nurgle army is behind him. Because he's rotating away from the forest, so he might think that they're all in the forest. Because, like, while you and I are looking at this, Lich's screen is probably like this. Like, this is probably what Tactical Lich sees. So it's very hard for him to know that all this shit's behind him, because he hasn't turned around yet. So I don't think he knows. Because Man-Eaters, Ogre Bulls and stuff would be charging by now if they really realized what was going on behind them. Lead Belchers are firing into Plague Drones, getting some nice stuff, but here we go. Now he knows they're behind him. He's starting to move some Ogre Bulls back there. Sabertusks are kind of readjusting a little bit, but Hadri's got a nice surround off in the meantime. Noblar Trappers are trying to shoot some Furies, but they'll be attacked by Nurglings, it looks like, and maybe rear charged by Plague Drones. I'm wondering what the Plague Drones are for. Armor-piercing magic damage. It's not like they have anti-large or anything. Alright, Exalted Heroes of Khorne charging straight in. They are going to disrupt one Lead Belcher. Furies will disrupt another, and a Demon Prince of Nurgle diving straight onto the Slaughtermaster. And Slaughtermasters are pretty bad combatants. They're good for a mage, but that's not really saying a whole lot. So far, I think Hadri's is right where he wants to be. He's in a good spot. Now, can he close the deal is a lot of what Nurgle struggles with. Already, we saw Fury disintegrate against these Ogres, and more Nurglings are fighting other Ogres, and they're going to lose back there. So, Hadri's did as good of a setup as he can. Let's see if it even matters. Beast of Nurgle trying to get in the fight. Exalted Heroes fighting, but they're now surrounded by Man-Eaters, and being up on those horses, while it gives them more mobility, it also makes them very susceptible to Ogre surrounds. Ogres love surrounding large models. They kind of hate dealing with infantry. Hadri's going pretty hard on Lord Snipe, Spirit Leeches, and again, another order onto the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. He's really going after him as the Plague Drones of Nurgle all dive in on the Lead Belchers. Damage value is very, very even, slightly in the favor of the Ogres. I think the Ogres are happy with the situation. You see the balance of power is turning slightly against Nurgle, and it's all in this Lord Snipe. Can the Demon Prince of Nurgle actually finish off this Slaughtermaster? Right now it's looking like no, as he's T-posing in front of some Man-Eaters who are between him and his target. He can't push through them. Ogres are very, very good at defending their Lord with mass. They just have a lot of mass. Marauders fighting some Nobblar Trappers really not going their way. More Nobblar Trappers are routing off, and the Demon Prince is just trying to push through these fucking Man-Eaters so he can get to the Slaughtermaster. Slaughtermaster's like, nope! Runs away as more Saber Tusks are going to dive in, and again, they're also large units, so it is hard for the Demon Prince to push through. He can, it's just hard. It takes him a long time. He's very slow at doing so. Exalted Heroes, fighting. And yeah. The Ogres' front line is held. Their back line is honestly held really well too, and a lot of things we predicted is coming true. Just the Ogres are outclassing Nurgle on every front except for the Lord and Heroes. But it's going to be hard, man. Single entities have a really bad time if they have literally zero support, because you can just get surrounded by Nobblar Trappers, Lead Belchers, kited around. I mean, these Manners with great weapons have got to be getting in really nice value onto the Demon Prince now they have surrounded. With Trapper support too, this is looking real bad for Hadri's, who actually did quite well. I'm shocked the damage value is that close. But he's going to run into issues soon. The Man-Eaters were a good tech piece here. This was a nice Ogre build. I really liked it. Because I'm trying to think what would really fuck over Man-Eaters that Nurgle has, and I'm just kind of coming up empty. Look at them tear apart the Exalted Hero of Nurgle. Jesus! Look at him go. Sorry, those Nobblar Trappers. Man-Eaters, great weapons. Oh, he's just getting worked on. Hadri's throws a fecundity on him, trying to save him, do something, but it is proving really difficult. The Demon Prince of Nurgle just cannot get out of all these Ogres. He just can't move, and this is Ogres shining. When their models aren't colliding into each other and being dumb and stuff, they are incredible at surrounding large targets, locking them in place, and just getting rid of them. And Nurgle, unfortunately, needs a lot of his large creatures to carry him. Exalted Hero is going to try and come bail out the Demon Prince, but one of the other Exalted Heroes is pushed off. He might rally in the distance. His leadership is coming back, so he might be okay. But I just don't see how Hadri's can turn this around. He's throwing a last-minute heal onto his own Demon Prince, trying to keep the balance of power out of Army Loss's territory. Oh, wait, that was a Troll Guts onto the Man-Eaters. Oh, that is mega fucked. As Army Losses comes in, another Spirit Leech onto the Slaughtermaster, the Great Maw. Hadri's did his best, but Nurgle shall fall. But he did better than me. Okay. Cool. Ogres got a secret buff? No, they've just been feeling good. I don't know. Exalted Heroes did okay. Demon Prince did okay. Plague Drones were very underwhelming, unfortunately. Furies did alright. I didn't even notice there were dogs. They were somewhere. Nurglings were just a basic frontline, so you don't really expect them to pay for themselves. The Beast of Nurgle did meh. Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw just ran away from the Demon Prince all game, but the Man-Eaters of Great Weapons were really shining this game. They did very nicely. Lead Belchers existed. They spent most of their time getting dove by Furies, and Hadri shut them down super effectively, so it's really hard to judge them for like, wow, you guys didn't get any value. You just got instantly gibbed by all of Nurgle's resources. But Saber-Toothed Packs did excellently. Nobblar Trappers also did fine, and the Ogre Bulls with dual weapons did well. So this was a really good build from Tactical Lich. And a wild build from Hadri's, though I did literally enter this by saying I have no idea what Nurgle brings. So I can't tell if this is like a normal-ish thing or brand new. But I think there's a reason you don't usually see Plague Drones. Alrighty, what do we got? Kark versus the green one. Yes, there's Kark versus the green one. That might be the next game we go see. I'll message the green one. Though I know the last couple times green one and I have been in the same game and he's crashed, and he said that doesn't happen when I'm not around. So I might want to avoid that. Oh! Bowman! I love Bowman. Let's watch that game. Tactical Lich's Ogres versus Bowman's Bretonnia. Usually I try to not follow the same person. But I think Bowman's very fun. to watch. Okay, what is Bjorn? I'll make a lobby. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Bowman's fun. Bowman's very fun. I hope he does well, but I should stick to my policy of not trying to follow the same person through a tournament. So an update on the bracket. Here we are. And we do have Green One and Kark ready, it looks like. So we'll go watch that. Norsca versus Khorne. Wow, I haven't seen that matchup maybe ever. We'll go do that, but Bowman versus Lich could also be a banger. I don't know yet. Because I think there was like some issue with Swerve and Green One that's maybe getting solved. I don't really know what's going on up there. Some might also just end up with Tactical Lich Bowman. I don't know. I don't know. Watch Kark, he destroyed me. There's one vote for Kark. Would have loved to see the double giant. Plague drones are poor at their job. Plague drones are terrible. Plague drones are generally terrible. I hate them. Okay. So we have a lobby. It's going to be Kark versus the green one. Khorne versus Norsca, which I'm actually also very interested in. Again, I have literally never seen this matchup that I can remember. I could be wrong. But I'm not. As for Kark... Oh, shit. I joined as a player. That's my bad. As for Kark, he is a very, very good domination player. I've seen him in the top tier of a lot of domination events. I think in the Warhammer World Cup, he also got very far. And ODM's the green one. Great player from ODM. Very nice guy. Good friend. Like him a lot. I want to see Bowman keep the wins after crushing me. I know I'm new to the Warhammer scene, but only place I've had success on play drones killing wizards and cannons. I will $10 give you $10 if you teach me the new matchup for Skavens after the stream. I'll see what I'm doing after the stream. I could also just make video guides for you. YouTube's telling me to put an ad break right now and I refuse. Okay. Father, I need your direct assistance. Maybe I'll see what's going on. I started this stream, and then after it, I know Grace and I were gonna hang out a little bit and do some stuff. I also gotta figure out what time it is when we're done. It's all hard. Have you always been into Total War multiplayer, or was Warhammer the first time you started PvP? I entered PvP in Warhammer 2. I played Warhammer 1 campaign only. Hadri's, you gave it a good go. Were the plague drones a meme, or is there some secret tech about that? I don't know. But you gave it a good shot. I think you played it as well as you could have, and then, like, the unit's stats just failed you. But the full flank was pretty spicy. Anyway, sorry. The Zerpal, Vile Urpal. Yeah, I played Campaign Warhammer 1 and Shogun 2. Were the only Total War titles I'd played before going competitive. And I entered the competitive multiplayer scene in number 2 because I was watching Turin, and it looked like fun. I had some bad experiences in quick battles. Now, I'm not trying to shit talk quick battles because there's a ton of people who like them. And I'm clearly just not one of those people, but like, I liked the idea of watching tournaments, like the handshake with your opponent. We're playing under the same understanding that, like, we're not going to fuck around with each other. We're just going to build a build, play a game, and be done with it. So I liked that. Entrance to tournaments, got my ass kicked for about a year and a half. And then I also played in my son HW's Fresh Recruit League, which was nice to find other newer players. Joined RTK. RTK helped me learn a lot very quickly, helped me get quite good. And then we ended up parting ways. And yeah, so to answer your question, no, I pretty much just hard ground Warhammer 2. And then Warhammer 3, we are here. A gentleman's game, yeah. I mean, there's still some cheesy stuff, for sure. But I was attracted to the concept of, like, there being rules and such. I know it's a turnoff for some people, and it's a legitimate, concern. I just know my experience was I played quick battles, and I just didn't... Because I was a little role-playing bitch. I would build an army that would look like an army, like a real army that you would see, and I'd pick my favorite lord because he's my favorite, and like all this stuff. I'm like, oh, this army looks so cool, and I would load in and be like, I'm making this up, right? But like 3 dragons with Larry to heal them up and 2 chariots, and the enemy unit count was like 8. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I just have to watch cycle charging and breath attacks, some shit like that. I'm like, this is dumb. And then there's other time I would beat this guy and he would run around and he just like would avoid losing, and I didn't want to wait for 20 minutes, so I just concede defeat and move on. I got some corner campers. Now I got some good games too. I'm not trying to just be an asshole, but watching Turin, I'm like, I want that. I want whatever that is. So I started joining Turin's tournaments, and I got my ass handed to me. I lost a lot. I lost a lot. But it was fun, Made some friends. Played a lot with those friends. Like I said, RTK scooped me up and taught me a lot, so. I maybe should have rolled the dice on full infantry spam nap time build. You ever run into Lord Gainer? Oh, that sounds familiar, Hadries. That sounds very familiar. It's good to hear the background. Still something I've yet to get into. My army is balanced. Reality check when you switch to competitive Warhammer Total War is a hard one. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, there's a lot of people right now that hang out with our tournament players and they play a bunch of games and then they get a little down because, like, it sucks. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It sucks to lose, 15 games in a row or something. You just feel like you're a bad player. But then if you go back to quick battles, you'll go back to being a 60, 70, 80% win rate, and you're like, oh, I'm playing with the most fanatical freaks about this game and losing to them, but I'm still a way better than average player. So it's one of those things that it's like a perspective shift, right? And the friends you've made via Lurple? Yeah, made a ton of good friends. The community's small, but that also means usually you can find some like nice people. Okay. I mean, what have I been playing now? 4 or 5 years? Something like that. Because I entered the multiplayer scene just before Snitch and Malice was the DLC. Like, a couple months before that. So, whatever that was is how long I've been playing competitive, and I'm clearly still enjoying it, so. It's mostly about the people, right? The game is fun. Sure, the game's fun, but I wouldn't have kept playing if I didn't have a ton of friends that I made, not like real life friends. I only have one real life friend that plays this game. I think it's been bad people, but definitely has some degens. Yeah, Rusty. Like, quick battles is for sure fine. there's just some games that kind of soured me, and I saw Turin's channel, and it's like, oh, there's a place where I can just go, you know? Like, I can just go here and find people. Okay, so I joined up with that, and then there was like Ant Ladder and stuff like that, for sure. But most of the quick battle games weren't bad. It was just like a couple. What made you fall in love with Skaven? Their voice lines. 100% their voice lines. The voice acting in Total War Warhammer 1, 2, and 3. There are many problems with Total War Warhammer 3. The voice acting is not one of them. The voice acting is super good. And the Skaven were just so funny. I loved everything about them. Their little squeaks and chirps and all their shit. Or maybe one of the best, I'll cut it short, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot about it. But one of the best voice lines ever was in Warhammer 2. The Skaven, if any Skaven unit was winning and a nearby enemy routed, if an enemy routed, they would sometimes say, "They flee! We run?" And it's like, no, you're fucking winning, don't run away. But I just, it was so good. The voice acting, oh, so good. Okay, what do we got in front of us here? This game. Kark has a front line of Marauders, a Soul Grinder of Khorne? What the hell? I haven't seen this unit since maybe June. Okay, Soul Grinder of Khorne. We do have the Minotaurs. They are very, very good after the buffs. 4 Fleshhounds of Khorne, and Valkia the Bloody. Probably hands down the best Khorne Lord. Some people could swear by Skarbrand, but I think Valkia is generally just the best. Maybe the Herald. On the other side, for Odium's the green one, we do have 4 Marauder Horse Masters. We have a bunch of Marauder Berserkers, 3 of them, 2 Marauder Spearmen, triple armored Skinwolves, a Metal Caster with Final Trans and Searing Doom, and then Wulfric the Wanderer on horse with, looks like the full kit, Sword of Torgald, Hunter of Champions, Fight or Die, or Seafang. Little tip for any of you Wulfric fans out there, do not take the Sword of Torgald if you are on a Mammoth, because you have so much armor piercing, and this only increases your base weapon damage by 90%, so it is 100% not worth it on your Mammoth. But on his horse, he actually has pretty large base weapon damage, so the increase is good. Just saying, if you're any Wulfric fans out there. When will your next tourney be? I try to host about 2 a week. So sometime a weekday next week, and then probably Sunday of next week, unless Hanniden's is doing something, then I'll cast his game, or Cool Umbrella's doing something, though Cool Umbrella doesn't usually do stuff on Sundays. Anyway, I have to focus on this game, sir. Greenskins have very good voice lines, yeah. Alright. Marauder Berserkers are colliding with the Marauders of Khorne, but there is an unfair advantage in the Minotaurs sprinting in here, and the Berserkers are going to have a terrible time. Wulfric and the Skinwolves are also joining the fight, so I'm not sure how that's going to go now. I think Norsca's biggest problem is going to be the lack of range support. These Skirmish Cav are going to have to act as rangers, but without any dedicated Marauder Hunters or throwing axes or anything. And a Seafang plus Valkia's Spear. All the infantry in this area having a bad time, but now that leaves Skinwolves mostly unsupported versus Minotaurs of Khorne, and I think the Minotaurs will end up winning that one. But Valkia and the Soul Grinder are coming for Wulfric, and it looks like a little bit more support is coming in for Khorne, and Norsca is going to abandon this position. Those Berserkers and Skinwolves will just die. Fleshhounds of Khorne retreating from the anti-large spears and armored Skinwolves. That's not a fight they really want to take. They will back off. And these Skirmish Cav are going to have to put this game on their back because their front line is rapidly failing. Now, Kark is slightly behind on the damage value, slightly being the key word, but Norsca's leadership is a little worse than Khorne, so I think that is to be expected. Also, ooh, big mistake possibly in from Khorne. 2 Fleshhounds are off in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, which is 1,300 gold that is not actively participating in the fight. Minotaur is getting shot down as a second armored Skinwolf runs up just to provide some mass and hold those Minotaurs in place for all the Skirmish Cav, but the 3rd Minotaur is free. Norsca's front line has officially buckled, and the Skirmish Cav do have to back off. Ooh, Wulfric committing at this moment could be a mistake, as all of his support is leaving. He is going in, leaving him against the Minotaurs and the Soul Grinder and Valkia. Fleshhounds are coming in. They're probably going to sacrifice their lives chasing off the Marauder Horse Masters, but that's all they need to do. They just need to buy the time for this melee blob to out-melee the Norskins, which it will do, especially with all these Minotaurs. More Skinwolves are joining the fight. Big final transit from Norsca. This could be a huge moment back in the game. Overcasted final transmutation. Hits a Minotaur. Not this one. This one's routing away. The flag's just here. But it hits a huge Minotaur, Soul Grinder, and Valkia. All the while, Wulfric is kind of kicking her ass. With Hunter of Champions, she only has 15 melee defense. The Armored Skinwolves are hanging on, but with a rear charge from the Fleshhounds, they will probably tear her out off very, very soon. Yeah. Sorcerer of Metal. also in dire straits. There's a bunch of Minotaurs around him, and he is not nearly the combatant they are. Valkia is currently getting her ass kicked by Wulfric, though I guess it is a two-way street. Both are feeling the love. Balance power's about dead even. Green one is slightly up in damage value. You can see the Flesh Hounds in the back are not having a great time chasing down these Skirmish Cav, but again, they just needed to buy some space for the Lord Snipe to come in. Wulfric with Fight or Die and Scroll of Shielding just vibing, but with another group of Minotaurs coming in behind him, he decides to slip away, and Green one did pick a nice little escape angle there, going out where there was no interference. So, for Norsca, Skirmish Cav, still decently healthy, all things considered, but their front line is non-existent. Wulfric is very damaged, and their mage is rather healthy. For Khorne, we have some damaged Minotaurs, but they are hanging in there. A rather healthy Soul Grinder, Valkia is below half HP, and a couple infantry. And they do have some Flesh Hounds, though these guys are being killed off by the Skirmish Cav, so they won't be a factor for too much longer. Khorne has a brief lead on the balance of power, but I think that lead will shrink as these Flesh Hounds finish crumbling away. Valkia is on the hunt for blood against Wulfric. I think she's just trying to get in a fight before his cooldowns come back up. He did pop everything he had in that blob fight, and he's now running away, though I think, honestly, Hunter of Champions is going to be up very soon. Soul Grinder is helping Minotaurs finish off the same as Shaman Sorcerer of Metal. We do not want another situation where they surround Wulfric and try to goon him out and get Final Trans. That would be very bad. Green one throws out a quick Searing Doom. Since he reads the writing on the wall, that Shaman's not really going to get another chance to throw out a Final Trans. Fleshhound's taken out. This might leave Valkia a little overexposed. Hunter Champions is Honor, and Wulfric keeps her on the ground. As more Skinwolves join the fight, this could be a big problem, because Kark did not bring the Demon Shield to stop her from taking any damage, but with a Spear of Sleipnir, she tries to bail herself out. Soul Grinder's also joining the fight. Minotaur's corner here as well. It's very risky, and this fight in the trees is for the whole game. In the distance, Green one's bringing back some Skirmish Cav that have been kiting out the Fleshhounds of Khorne, and Khorne has some frontline stuff, but that really doesn't matter. Everything that matters is happening in the trees. Valkia is still holding on against Wulfric, but it's not a fight she's winning anymore, even with Horn of Khorne popped. But there's the big boy, the Soul Grinder, pushing through all these horsemen. He's going right for Wulfric. And he lands a nice big hit. Marauder Skirmish Cav are going to run away, trying to throw some stuff, but Wulfric is not going to beat Valkia and Minotaurs and the Soul Grinder. That might be the Norscan death knell as he gets routed, but does he get killed? If he gets killed, it's 100% over, because the leadership spike will be way too much for Norsca to withstand. Minotaurs are pushed off. Wulfric is officially killed. I think that is going to be it. Khorne has enough people left to really finish out this game. Skirmish Cav running around. We could probably kill these Fleshhounds, maybe even kill Valkia, but I just don't see them killing everything else. Skinwolves in the distance do rally. They're regenning up, but I don't think they'll rejoin the fight before the game is literally over. And these Skinwolves and Marauder Horsemasters are really trying to finish off Valkia, but it's just not going to pan out. With the leadership flagging on too many units, that will be it. Khorne advances. I spilled all over myself, my bad. My bad, my bad. Valkia, 1800 value. Soul Grinder, honestly, did quite well as well. Minotaurs did very nicely. They didn't quite pay for themselves, but they were huge on the battlefield, and routing off things is also useful. Marauders of Khorne did all right. They generally got murked, and Fleshhounds did fine. Wulfric honestly did okay. I usually like to shit on him, but in this instance, considering he was on horse, he probably got close-ish to paying for himself, and all of Khorne was trying to snipe him out. Metalcaster did well. Armored Skinwolves underperformed a little bit. The Norscan front line got wrecked by Khorne, but they were outnumbered, so I guess they did fine-ish, and Marauder Horsemasters did excellently. It was overall a very close game. Yeah, it was nice. ZGG, well played. Kark will advance. And I'm going to look for a quick game here. Oh, shit. Start! 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 I tried to catch them before they started their game. Okay, so we got a game. I told Storm not to ready up, so they won't. I just gotta go find Kropep. Can I spectate? I have never heard of this Kropep person, so that's fun. I always like seeing new people, and Stormrunner is an admin for me. He's a good guy, and he sends in a lot of replays that I don't end up casting because usually they are rather one-sided. But he is very fun. He has a lot of meme builds. He's a good guy. So it is nice to get him on stream once in a while. Because I feel bad that I very, very rarely cast his replays. But I try not to cast one-sided affairs. And sometimes, like, he'll have this cool build, and it'll be very nice. But his opponent's just kind of asleep at the wheel. And it's like, oh, I don't want to cast this because it'll make the other guy feel bad. So, yeah. I'm guessing to fight Khorne dogs. Oh, okay, there's some stuff going on. Stormrunner, I believe in Soul Grinder of Khorne Supremacy. It did do pretty well. Mino's got Frenzy in 2.0 as well. Then the price cut, the absurdly good for price currently. Yeah, the price cut was huge, and the Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons, actually all Minotaurs with great weapons, got their cost reduced to be the same as regular Minotaurs. And that's huge, because the great weapon variant is like by far the best in my opinion. So they got huge cost decreases. What's the cost of Throg versus Wulfric? Throg's like 2k, but he has a lot of regen. Hold on. To answer that question while we wait for the invite anyway. So Norsca, Wulfric, on his horse with everything that guy just had, is 1850. And then Throg with my usual kit I bring him is 1850. So they're actually the same. I bring Foe Seeker because Vigor affects leadership and stats. And Foe Seeker, if you're ever playing, dude, I swear by Foe Seeker. I think it's incredible on any character you can take it on. Because Vigor is so important. Unless they already have Perfect Vigor, then obviously don't do that. But, like, it's not about the speed. Just having the Vigor in the late game is super awesome. Vampire Coast versus Grand Cathay. We'll see what's up. I've never seen this Kropep person in my life. And stream very rarely gets to see him Stormrunner, so this should be a treat. That's my son. Hanadins and Rinless talking it up. Hanadins, how you doing in the tournament? You're doing well, right? You just sent me a thing saying I should believe in skull cannons. Did you get knocked out? Oh, you did get knocked out. Wait, you got knocked out by Kropep. What the fuck? This person beat Hanadins? The change with healing helped Throg out a lot in Warhammer 3, yeah. I think he's the Norscan's best lord. I swear by Throg. I joined the Church of Throg. Does anybody know who this Kropep guy is? Anybody? Because he beat Hanadin, so now I'm immediately... Can you explain why Vigor is so important? Some more stats people can explain that. I'm really not much of a stats player. Like, I don't know the super ins and out of all these things. But Vigor does affect all the stats. It's kind of a weird thing, though, because it doesn't show appropriately on, like, the unit card. It doesn't say Vigor is reducing this much. But it does lower your leadership. It lowers your melee attack and melee defense. I know those for sure. But it's the leadership is the big thing with Throg, because he is a troll at the end of the day. Yeah. I can confirm the need for Vigor. 2 Lore Masters lose to Siggy, but with Foe Seeker they beat him. Kropep a sleeper? I'm sorry, Black Knight. You must have gotten knocked out then. Kropep sounds oddly similar to Mofet. This is not a Mofet build. Mofet had a very different style than this. But, yeah. Anyway. Armies are mostly set up. Let's get to it. There are 4 Mourngul Haunters. Wait, no. Just Mournguls. Mournguls, 2 Scurvy Dogs, 3 bombers, 5 pistols, triple animated Hulk in the back, and Celostra Deerfawn up on her crab with Kraken's Pull, Denizens of the Deep, and then her Ghost of the Past summon and Song of Enthrallment. So, kind of spicy build. Yeah, the Morngulls are spicy. I like them, though. They get regeneration when in melee combat, armor-piercing anti-infantry. If they sit on Jade Warriors, they'll be okay. They don't want to sit on Peasant Longspears, though. Peasant Longspears will trade very well back into them, I think. And there's no Jade Warriors. There's just 4 Peasant Longspears, 3 Iron Hail Gunners, 2 Peasant Horsemen, 1 Jade Lancer, double Long Marauders, one of which is the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, the armor-piercing Guardian ones. We do have a Dragon-Blooded Shugi Lord of Yang with Wall of Wind and Fire, Jade Shield, and Dragon's Breath. Then we have a Fire Rain Rocket, double Grand Cannon. I think I mentioned the 3 Iron Hail Gunners, but in case I did not, 3 Iron Hail Gunners. Think of Vigor like an energy. The more you have, the more you're willing to do things such as fight. Being exhausted drains your will to do things. Skritz Shell, it is fun.
Yeah, I've been enjoying land battles a lot.
And you might hear a lot about the community dying off, and we have had lower player counts, I won't deny that, but a large portion of it, I think... Now, people might disagree, but from my experience, the game right now is fun. Why a lot of people were quitting or leaving and stuff is because the game hasn't changed since August. Like, the patches have been pretty meh. And, like, the same strong factions are still strong, the same weak factions are still weak. But if you haven't been playing, then you aren't bored of the meta yet. And I think you might have some fun. But if you've been, like, hard grinding since August, yeah, the game's going to be the same fucking game you played. I won't deny that. Like, nothing's really changed. But, yeah, I think if you haven't played at all, now's probably a good time to hop back in. Because the Chaos Dwarf DLC, or whatever the DLC is, but it's probably going to be fucking Chaos Dwarfs, is coming out probably in April. And there's a patch, I think the next patch is supposed to be 3-ish weeks from now, if I had to guess, based on, like, what CA normally does. But I know they just came back from vacation 2 days ago. So they're probably on the next patch. And we're off. The coast is full rushing, so as all rush factions versus shooting factions, the start of the game is going to be the worst for you. It's just about getting in there as quickly as you can as you take minimal damage. But they have lost one of their gunnery mobs already. It's only 300 gold, not a big deal. It's the equivalent of losing a Clan Rat or an Empire Spearman, but still hurts. Peasant Horsemen went on a scouting run, and unfortunately for them, they found some stuff. And they are now trying to get away as Scurvy Dogs and Morngulls chase them down. But I think Stormrunner is going to be hurting as far as infantry goes. Like, this is going to be really good at the start, and then those Peasant Longspears are going to get overrun rather quickly. Great Longbow Riders dive down onto this Morgul. They are going to take it out, but if Slostra's on top of it, she could summon the armor-piercing Ghosts of the Past right behind these guys and get a lot of damage out. I would be curious to see that. Scurvy Dogs and Morgulls are going to push off these Peasant Horsemen on the other side. It looks like we're just going for a Kraken's Pull, which is still a good call. It's a nice Vortex spell that hits 2 units at once. It'll get some decent damage. It looks like Dogs and Morgulls are countercharging over here just to keep these guys on the ground for a little bit longer. I still would advocate for the Knights of the Realm summon, because they're 100% armor-piercing being ethereal units. I think they would get really good value over here. Now, without the Knights nearby to help out, we do see Horsemen having to take a suboptimal fight just to keep things away from the Fire Rain Rockets and the cannons. There's the Knight summon, but it's not getting used on the Blob fight. It looks like it's going to run over and just take out all the cannons. But take out all the cannons it will. They're undefended, and these ethereal things do cause terror. They'll get through them rather quickly. Without support, the Long Riders are tearing apart Morngulls. Cathay's Long Riders are actually kind of insane, especially the RR. Ethereal Knights, looks like they lost their attack orders. They are kind of standing around for the moment. I don't know where that arrow is leading, but it's leading somewhere. They need to go do something. Far side, Morgulls and Dogs fighting Jade Lancers and stuff. Peasant Horsemen really trying to hold back the tide, but the Bombers have gotten involved and an entire Iron Hail disappears under their assault. Slostra and the Knights moving in, animated Hulks as well. They need to shut down the cannons. Cathay is up 6,000 to 2,000 damage value. Ooh. Oh. Knights already take out an Iron Hail Gunner. Now they're going after the Firing Rocket. But when these units die, you will see that damage value spike up a lot, because cannon crews are weird about their value. You have to kill them off, and then they're all their ammunition counts at once. It's rather strange. Morngul's trying to regen up through the fight. Bombers backing off the Peasant Horsemen. These Bombers are about to get dove. They're almost dead anyway. That's fine. Firing Rockets pushed off. Cannons pushed off. Last cannon is trying to shoot at Celostra, but it will not survive this charge. 5 seconds left on these Ethereal Knights, and they are gone. Gone, gone, gone. How else are we doing? Another Kraken's pull onto the Righteous Lances, but Vortex spells generally don't pull in cavalry models, so they can just walk out of it. So they'll be okay over there. Cathay is looking strong, though. The rush did falter a bit. It's having troubles really getting through things. Now, a lot of stuff's routing, but while there is a lot of stuff routing, there's not a lot left for the Vampire Coast to really rely on. Routed off another cannon. But cannon crews are coming back. Long Marauders are still very healthy. Bombers did decently versus them, though. How much value did you guys get? Wow, only 200. Shocking. Quick Rotting Promethean summon. Looks like they're going to probably run over and deal with that Grand Cannon, make sure it can't come back online, but I think Celostro's going to have troubles grinding through all these long spears, and the Long Marauders being alive is a huge problem. Once we learn how to play Cathay, times are going to be rough for me a bit. Norsca needs more lore options. Oh yeah, Norsca needs more lore options for sure. I also think they need some hero buffs. Norsca's heroes in general are a little overcosted for what they do. But Norsca's roster without that is generally fine. It's just their lords are meh. Catching up on chat. Meta, what's that? I think you bring Stormvermin every matchup. Oh yeah, for sure. Or Cast Lord, anything interesting? Yeah. A cheap Caster Lord would be insane for Norsca, because then you have the threat of going really wide with the cheap Lord. But without having a Caster Lord, then you know you need to bring a Caster Hero, which is extra expense, and you need to bring an expensive Combat Lord. So it just stops Norsca from going super wide. Stormrunner will defeat the Vampire Coast. Kropep gave it an honorable go. I think he should have summoned those Ethereal Knights at the start when there was that big blob of Longmas and get a nice rear charge, really lock him in there and take him down. I think that could have been huge, but it was a good attempt overall. The Kraken's pull just failed him a little bit. Didn't do as much as he wanted. Morgul's struggled to get their value back. Animated Hulks did okay. Bombers did fine. Pistol Bobs did okay. Shugi Lord of Yang, wow, only 260. I kind of thought it would have been more. Longas did fine. Cannons did well. Fire and Rocket did okay. Iron Hails did quite well. Peasant Long Spears did fantastically. And the Cavalry had to sacrifice itself to hold things off. GG, well played to both players. And what do we have? What do we have? Bretonia. Dark Elves. We were just there. Sus Among Us. I don't think that's real. Excuse me. Okay. So what we're gonna do. What we are gonna do. We could try to find Bjorn. It looks like Bjorn is trying to set up a game with Caradoc right now, but here's the bracket for you guys. Kark on Khorne is waiting in the quarterfinals, waiting for his opponent up here. Phoenix King and Stormrunner are ready. We could go watch that. That seems fine. Bowman is waiting for a winner here. And down here we have Coops, Neptune, Raced, and Iron General all fighting it out. But we can go watch our first quarterfinal with Phoenix King and Stormrunner. Yeah. Who's still in it? Slaanesh, VC, Khorne, High Elves, Cathay, Bretonia, Dark Elves, Ogres, Nurgle, Dark Elves, Lizardmen. A lot of Dark Elves today. Huh. Okay. Alright. Spectating again. Okay. We have a lobby code. called Believe in Acer Supremacy. We're up. Cathay moment. Poggers Cathay 1. It's not like Total Warhammer is a commercial PvP game. It's good for what it is. Heck, and tabletop Beastmen and Tomb Kings are weak for the longest time, and Halves Dark Elves strong up till it ended.
Yeah, I never played the tabletop.
I play a lot of like tabletop board games, but not a ton of army builders or model-based games. My friend got Rune Wars, and then that got discontinued, and he was pretty bummed about that. It was neat. I would go over to his house and build an army, and then we'd fight and stuff, but like you could tell he was actually good at it, because legitimately every faction he played felt broken, but it didn't matter what faction he played. Like, he would play the Wood Elves in the Rune Wars game, and he would do some stuff, and I'm like, wow, they can do that? That is such bullshit. Holy crap, that's overpowered. And then I would try the Wood Elves, and I'd do, like, shit. And he'd play the Demons, I'm like, wow, they can do that? That's so dumb, man. They're so fucking strong. And the next game, I would play the Demons, and they would feel meh. Or he would play the Humans. Honestly, the Humans were the only one that he played that I didn't feel like, well, this is horseshit. Because that game came out with 4 factions. There was Wood Elves, Undead, Demons, and Humans. And whenever my friend played anything but the Humans, they felt fucking busted. And then the Humans, like, he would still win, but it didn't feel as horseshit. You know what I mean? But, like, there's games where you just, like, flip the table and you're like, this fucking sucks! But whenever he played the Humans, I'm like, oh, GG, you won. Yeah, nice. Really hope Dark Elves get some nerfs because they're super fun right now, but it feels kind of dirty playing them with how OP they are. I think Scourge Runners and Soul Stealer need to get nerfed, and Malice, right? But without those things, I think Dark Elves will still be a plenty competitive faction, and I think they'll be more fun to play as and against. But it's the Scourge Runners and Soul Stealer / Malice that's so frustrating. But like, Dark Shards are good. Shades are honestly solid. The more I've been using the Shades, the more I've liked them. Dark Riders are some of the most cost-effective light cavalry in the game. Cold Knights are kind of sus, but in the right situation can do some good stuff. Cold One Dread Knights have been making a slow comeback. Manticores are okay. They're not OP anymore, but they're fine. So, I don't know. I hope the Dark Elves get some single entity buffs, like the Hydra, Charybdis, the Bloodrack Medusas. The Shrines are currently bugged, so they triple hit, and even then, that just makes them a unit, not even a good unit. A new Total Warhammer would probably say the same about you. Maybe. Oh, yeah, Yoni, yeah, for sure. Alright, sorry, there's a delay, so I didn't know what you were referring to, but I got it now. I didn't care about unkillable crypt ghouls, super corn dogs, and overtune VP, just fix shooting units. Buff all monsters in the game. Single entity monsters, I think the single greatest change to make single entity monsters better. Like, think of all the bad ones, right? The good ones obviously don't need any buffs, but take any bad single entity monster and give it better splash attacks to clear out infantry, and instantly it's viable. Maybe not great, but viable. Because the biggest problem with single entity monsters right now is they're weak to shooting, but that's how, like, giant monsters are supposed to work, is you're supposed to, like, surround them and shoot them, right? Single entity monsters are weak to getting surrounded by monsters infantry. Again, I think that's fine. Monsters cavalry. Again, I think that's fine. Like, I think all those things are fine. But the thing that fucking sucks about most monsters is even walking into basic, like, Empire swordsmen, it takes them forever to kill basic swordsmen, and they'll take a good amount of damage from doing so. Not like a ton, but a good amount. And it's like, when you imagine a fucking T-Rex, right? A T-Rex, or a Hell Pit Abomination, or a Charybdis, or any of these things go into, like, a bunch of fucking randoms. You imagine a movie scene where they go like, and everybody goes flying, and they're like, ah, and they die. And then, and like 5 more people get smashed, and 10 more people gone, all that stuff. And what you actually get is, and all those people go flying, ah, and then they get up and just walk back to the fight. Or the Hell Pit will go, rah, boop, and kill one model out of 120, and then like 119 more models go stab, and then he goes, "Roar!" Boop. I killed one more guy out of 119, and 118 models go stab, and it's like, this is why this unit sucks. It can't even kill like 150 gold Skaven slaves effectively. Now, you have to be careful with that. Obviously, you don't want to make it overtuned, but like, I'm just saying, any currently bad single entity monster, if you at least gave them more splash damage in a lot of their melee attacks, like basic melee attacks, it's like, oh, okay, at least this is And even, I would even argue that'd be better for campaign. Because I will say, the biggest blue balls I got, I played the Lizardmen campaign as my first Warhammer 2 campaign, because I originally wasn't that into Skaven. I knew him as the Vermintide bad guys, and I didn't give a shit. But I loved dinosaurs since I was a kid. So I was ready. I got Krokgar and an 18 stack of Carnosaurs. And then I think I had like a Saurus Scar Veteran or something. Now I remember my biggest problem was taking a 4v1 fight. And if I didn't auto-resolve it, I like literally couldn't kill all of the infantry. And I was like, why? I have fucking 20 T-Rexes running around. And these goblins are just stabbing me to death. Fuck goblins. They have 20 T-Rexes in this goddamn army. So, yeah. I like these single faction tournaments. Nice, Fat Kid Recess. We'll try to do more, because we are getting a lot of new player participation, which is good. Notably good monsters in the game. 3 have either gotten their buffs, price cuts, or both. I think as a healing change, yeah. And for sure, I don't mean like all SEMs need that treatment, right? Because there's good SEMs that don't need anything. Like, we don't want to further buff like Kugath or something, or I don't know. I'd have to look through all the SEMs and be like, buff that one, don't buff that one. Like, I think Giants are in a great spot. I don't think they need buffs or nerfs. I think Giants are just like right on the money right now. Because in certain situations, they're incredible. And in certain situations, they're terrible. And that's nice. Like, you can't just slam a giant into an army, walk out, and win the game. But they also have their place. Way higher melee defense and better splash attacks, yeah. Notably, all single entities lost weapon strength and moved to game 3. Weapon strength stayed the same, but health increased. Personally, I like to see cut 200 gold off all SEMs to start, see where things fall. Yeah, I think that was a healthy change as far as Manticores go, but Manticores were super strong and all other SEMs were pretty meh. So then Manticores got brought down to a fine level, and every other SEM suffered pretty badly. Stonehorn is a really good SEM right now, yeah. Any tips on beating the demon factions with Skaven? Slingers. Skaven Slave Slingers, Night Runner Slingers, Night Runners with the 360 shooting, Gutter Runners with the 360 shooting. Very good against literally every single demon faction I can think of. Yeah, maybe Slaanesh is the only one that doesn't give a shit about basic Slingers. But Slaanesh hates the 360 skirmishers, especially if they're supported by Rat Ogres. Yeah, they're quite nice. I mean, Globes are obviously quite strong. 4 Rat Ogres in almost every single build, because you need the mass, you need the armor piercing. Ikit Claw is generally good. If you're looking for a win, Ikit Claw and his Doom Wheel with Flensing Ruin is probably the best way to go. If you're looking to have some fun, I do think Skrulk on foot against most demon factions is fine. It's acceptable. But Flensing Ruin's overtuned at the moment. So if you're just looking for a fast win, then yeah, you just want to slam that shit in. But Skrulk's passable. He's fine. I think he's fun in certain ways against certain demon factions because he brings a lot of magic damage to the table and his contamination. Here's a big thing I like about Boris Todbringer, and people keep giving me shit. Boris has really good leadership debuff stuff, which so does Skrulk, and against demons, that is underrated because if you can get them crumbling, they don't stop. Like, factually they can, but in reality, they don't. And when they crumble, they die. It's not like VC. So Skrulk or Boris or anything that has leadership debuff on it, incredible versus demons. I think it's highly underrated. Giants are good right now for who? Everyone, yeah. What do you think of triple Jezzail builds and going super wide? I used to be on that train, but recently Jezzails have been underwhelming me because they're very hard to defend. And they don't, like, solo carry you the game anymore. They do fine. They're a fine unit, but I've been having a lot better results with one Jezzail. And then going very wide with slingers and globes. And if the enemy overcommits to diving on your Jezzails, you can just globe or slinger them to death while they commit for that. But I found if I have 3 Jezzails, I can't defend all of them appropriately. Anyway, I gotta do the game. We have triple Fire and Rocket, 2 Longmas, one of which is the ROR, Dragonblood Shugi Lord of Yang with Constellation of the Dragon, Dragon's Breath, and Jade Shield. Frontliner Jade Warriors and Peasant Spears mixed, and then Jade Lancers and 1 Peasant Horseman off in the trees. For the Phoenix King, hashtag dwarfs require no skill, we do have 2 Sword Masters of Hoeth, a frontline of White Lions of Kreis. We do have double Dragon Princes, Imric up on his dragon, and in the woods we have a Mage of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood. Sword Masters are getting the Fire Rain Rocket treatment, but unfortunately there's some overlap, and the Dragon Princes take a little bit of collateral damage for that one, and an entire Sword Master is almost dead. Can the triple Fire and Rockets do enough damage before it's all over? Let's find out. A Dragon Prince is getting committed to chasing down Peasant Horsemen. I don't know if that's worth it, because there's nothing in the backline you're defending. It's not like the Peasant Horsemen are going to dive archers or anything. There's nothing there. Looks like Phoenix King is realizing that and just pulling up his Dragon Princes. They're going to have to do some other stuff. Imric's going to have to go hog wild. Yeah, because he's 3,000 gold. He's going to have to do something. Never thought about custom rules for tournaments, like clearly OP things not allowed. Yeah, we did a couple tournaments like that before, but in the current state of the game, it can be a little tough because it's highly subjective what people consider OP. Like, some people think Cathay is the most OP faction, some people think Vampire counts. I'm in the Vampire counts camp, but I know there's a lot of people that hate Cathay more. Or, like, there's people that think Slaanesh is the strongest, even though I heavily disagree with that. It's like, you know, there's a lot of... Wow, that was a lot of damage! Jesus Christ, Imric! He's just deleting these things! What the fuck? I'm not used to an SEM being surrounded by Cav, and he's just murdering them! Oh my god, Imric! Anyway, Jade Lancers take a charge with Dragon Princes and White Lions, and they are going to regret it, but the Dragon Princes are getting hit in the back by the Longbow Riders, the Loriatis Lancers specifically, doing a lot of damage. And a Constellation of the Dragon, nice dodge from the Dragon Princes, barely get out of the way in time, and instead just nukes down the Peasants, leaves them alone, and a rear charge from the Dragon Princess onto the Loriatis Lancers. Wei Jin is going to try and take them out. One Longbow Rider is entirely fucking dead, as Imric just takes them down, and Sword Masters are just chewing through Jade Lancers. Their incredible stats and armor piercing doesn't matter, they don't have anti-large. But the High Elves are ascended, extremely wounded, but they did manage to get to the front line, and once they get there, they start winning, and they win hard. Sword Masters, fighting to the last man, have gotten onto the firing rockets, and this looks real bad for Cathay as the High Elves explode into a gold damage value lead. Long Riders decide to just leave Imric alone. Not worth it. Leave Brittany alone. But the High Elves, I don't know what can stop them at this point. This is exactly what we talked about last game with the Vampire Coast. Well, it didn't look that close. It's like... Either it's a very, the Cathay build style that Stormrunner's been going with is very you do or you don't. Or like, do you hold them back long enough to win? You do, and it looks like you win by a lot. Do you hold them back enough to shoot? If you don't, it looks like you lose by a lot. But it's really, it's the entire game is decided on that central question of, did you hold long enough? And for the High Elves, I mean, versus the High Elves, the answer is no. So I think the game is doomed at this point, as the last Fire and Rocket is here, but it's nothing it can shoot, and Dragon Princes are about to dive it with Imric. Without the Fire and Rockets, Cathay is seriously lacking in firepower. Their Caster Lord is healthy. The Righteous Lances of Wei Jin are here, but they're also very tattered, and I just don't think they can beat the High Elves in melee. High Elves soar to a 2,000 gold lead. They're very far ahead on the balance of power, and I think that is about appropriate. Imric demolished those other Longmas. Now, they weren't the Righteous Lances, so maybe the Righteous Lances would have done better, but I did not think he would just tear through them as quickly as he did. That was awesome. Alright, Imric's diving after the Dragonblood Shugi Lord, realizing that she is the only thing keeping this game out of army losses territory. Another Constellation Dragon is cast, but Phoenix King / Dwarves require no skill is on top of it, dodges away, and that'll be GG. Short game, so the value is going to be pretty mixed here, but Swordmasters did what they had to. Even the one that got nuked out of existence still paid for itself, I think. Or they 1,200, in which case it almost did. White Lion did fine. Dragon Princess did very well. Imric himself did nicely. Longmas did their best to hold back the tide. Fire and Rockets did quite well for when they could shoot, and Jade Lancers did okay, but the Jade Warriors were run over as soon as the fighting started. White Lions plus Swordmasters are armor-piercing, jacked up on stats, and Jade Warriors get a lot of gusto for their 500 gold cost, but even then, you can't stand up against 800 gold or 1300 gold units like this. They will get through you. So it's GG. It is GG. Let's see if Coops. Let's see if Coops and Raced are around. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much shit. Hold on. If I can get this game, I'm gonna get so much shit from you people. But okay, it's Ogres versus Dark Elves. Now, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right? I think this matchup is Dark Elf favored, but I don't want to hear it from you people giving me shit. Ogres versus Dark Elves, Coops versus Race. I think it's Dark Elf favored, and you can't change my mind. All right. We'll find a game. While they send me a spectator code or something, I will check up on this. Salinator advanced. Salinator has beaten Bowers. He beat Trigger, which is honestly shocking. And now he's going to go fight Kark. Phoenix King, waiting for the winner of that. And then Bowman versus Caradoc, and Coops versus Raced. So we haven't seen Bowman or Caradoc. We haven't seen Coops or Raced today, so I think either game is fine. If for some reason I can't get into Coops' and Raced's game, I'll ask to see Bowman and Caradoc. We will see. I don't know why I keep going to that one by default. All right, I got a code. Got a code. Damn it. I joined for real, not the spectator. Okay, spectate. Boom. 1, 2, 3. And I'm in. Alright, how we doing? Love the fact the High Elves can rush again, especially with heavy cav. Dragon Princes have been feeling really good. Swordmasters are viable again? They're fine. I don't know if they're great, but they're fine. I spammed just Elves versus Wood Elves. Yeah, but Wood Elves is specific. I meant like in general. Mono God's hard counter Skaven. I have not gotten to play Nurgle versus Skaven, but if on paper it looks Skaven favored to me. Slanesh versus Skaven is Slanesh favored, but I've played it so much that now I feel comfortable in it. Khorne versus Skaven I think is dead even, and Tzeentch versus Skaven I think is Skaven favored. But yeah. Cathay box is so awesome. It was hardly a box, but it did lose. Imric is here to claim his dragon. Buff the High Elf passive was big, it was. And it needed the buff. Enraged. Love the new melee High Elves. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat. Might play High Elves again. High Elves are fun right now. Yeah, for sure. They might be a little too strong, depending on who you talk to or what you're talking about, but I think they're fun right now. Should have picked Mama Meow. Imric would have simped for her. Imric would have switched sides, for sure. Is being savage today. Ogres versus Dark Elves. Malekith Carrion coming. So what's wrong with Ogres versus Dark Elves? It's a matchup I had seen before. Okay, so I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna be unfair for a second. So before a certain tournament happened, put a blanket over that. I had seen this matchup 3 times. 3 times the Dark Elves had won. Scourge Runner Chariots with anti-large armor-piercing missiles and very hard to catch and very hard to surround and very hard to deal melee damage to did a lot of damage to Ogres. Malekith on his dragon was very, very strong and good at sniping as long as he didn't land in the middle of the Ogres and instantly die. And Malice was also a really good lord because he has a lot of leadership melee debuffs. He's very hard to kill. He could transform into Zarkan and deal with all that stuff. Then you can take cheap Dread Spears, cheap Dark Shards, which are armor-piercing missiles. You could take good Cav, good armor-piercing anti-large Cav, or just good light Cav. All those things put together, I said Dark Elves is favored in this matchup, and it turned out that way 3 times in a row. There was a stream where I said this, and literally this matchup happened 3 more times on that stream alone, and every time, Ogres fucking crushed it. And ever since then, certain people have been giving me a ton of shit about it, and I maintain that in that tournament, for some reason, every Dark Elf player was trying to style on their opponent and took not standard builds. Like, they took Bleak Swords instead of Dread Spears, and it's like, Dread Spears are the same price, they're just literally better against this faction in every single way, and they wouldn't take Scourge Runners. I'm like, Scourge Runners are the strongest thing on this roster right now, and they're really good versus Ogres. And like, one person, I think it was the Phoenix King, took fucking Marathi, and we haven't seen her in forever, and as soon as she touched the ground, the Ogres surrounded her and beat her to death, and I'm like, that's why we don't say Marathi. And yet the chat was giving me all this shit, saying this matchup is suddenly Ogres' favorite. I'm like, no, it isn't. These builds are silly. These builds are silly and not a thing to base the matchup off of. So it's been a meme. It's been a meme. I'll fight to my death. Ogres are disfavored in this matchup. I will die on this hill. Beating up on Nurgle isn't cool, Coops. They're like me at recess. Aww. Let's play Nurgle versus Skaven. Yeah, I haven't gotten to play it a lot, Cool Umbrella. I would be interested in learning that matchup some more. Suck it, Dowie Pledge. Hey, McRightface with the $50. Thank you so much, sir. You are very generous. I consider you a patron to this channel because you have given tons of support over, honestly, the years, I guess now, because it is plural. But I know you dropped out of the technical Patreon, but you give enough donations that you're a patron. You are a patron, for sure. For sure. I forget if Strat Game's in my official Patreon, but he should also be... I should give him the roles in Discord and treat him like a patron, because he fucking is. Strat Game has given so much love and support and, financial aid to this channel. You guys start scheduling your tourneys when I'm not at work, hungover, sleeping. That's fair, yeah. So it seems the matchup is a bit contested? Yeah. Marathi lost because she was envious of the thickness of the ogres. It is true. When Marathi dives into such a mass of pure sexual beings, she is overcome with emotion and instantly dies. Respectable, because it seems ridiculous, but dumb. She was distracted. Yeah. Alrighty, what do we got? Coops, another wonderful patron to the channel, but also an admin who helps me out with my Discord and tournament stuff, so big props to Coops. Always happy to have him on the stream. I'll let him set up his build before I really talk about it too much. And on the other side, Raced, a very, very good player who joined us. I think he played a bit in Warhammer 2, but I really noticed him pop off in Warhammer 3 pre-Immortal Empires, and post-Immortal Empires he's been learning a lot of the old factions and stuff, so Raced is one of the best players in GGX. I would have to get a whole list of their players, but I can feel relatively confident saying he's their best right now. Yeah, maybe Mr. Doodles if he was on form, but I haven't seen that guy in forever. So we have Rakarth. I'm leaving. Fuck this game. I ain't dealing with it. I don't want to cast this game. Okay, we got fucking Rakarth up on his stupid Manticore because nobody wants to win this matchup, I guess. Sorceress of Death with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. We have a front line of Dread Spears, one of which is the ROR Hellebronite. We do have 2 Blackguard of Nagaron in the background. We have 2 Cold One Dread Knights, which are fucking Chad, and 1 Scourge Runner Chariot. Why do people hate winning? Okay, On the other side, for Coops, we have 2 Crushers. I think there's another one over here. Yes, the Sky Striders. 2 Crushers, great weapons. 4 Saber-Toothed Packs. We have a bunch of Noblars. Ogre Bulls with dual weapons. Ogre Bulls basic. We do have a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw with Troll Guts and Bone Crusher, and then a single Iron Blaster. Iron Blaster's having a bad day. Has 2 Bolt Throwers, plus the Scourge Runners are all shooting at him, but whoa! Oh! Oh, that was damage! That was 1/3 of the HP off that Scourge Runner with 1 shot. Good job, Iron Blaster. Rakarth prowling over all of his subjects, just waiting. That's funny. Beast Armor of Clowncar, if a large enemy presence is in the ability range. So, any unit on the Ogre roster. That's Rakarth, isn't it? Yeah. I think they should make High Elf units cost more, yeah. Alright, I'll get it caught up with chat later, but... Anyway, the Iron Blaster just completely destroys these Scourge Runner chariots! Murders them! They're out of here! Very good stuff from you, Iron Blaster. My hat's off to you. Saber-Toothed Packs are charging him, but they'll get countercharged by Colton Dread Knights. The Colton Dread Knights should win that, but actually 38-28 on Saber-Toothed Packs is not bad stat-wise compared to the 40-44 of Colton Dread Knights. They actually might not trade as well as I would have thought. On the other side, Colton Dread Knights are trying to hold off more Saber-Toothed Packs, but yeah, those Saber-Toothed Packs are doing work on these elite guys. Oh wait, they have Crushers in here too, sorry. The flag was going around, so I thought the whole unit was going around. Sky Striders joining the fight. Might have some trouble getting through their own Saber-Toothed Packs, but they should do well onto those Colton Dread Knights. But the Dread Spears, I will stand by them. Dread Spears are an incredible front line versus the Ogres, and if you're not taking them, if you're taking Bleak Swords, you're taking the wrong unit. Iron Blaster gets sniped out by Rakarth. He uses Beast Slaver on himself, and he's going to chase off that unit. Scourge Runner Chariot is back, though, at 2 out of 4 models. It's at half capacity. Sorceress of Death, I did mention earlier, Slaughtermasters are piss poor melee combatants in general. Yes, but versus a hero caster, the Lord caster of the Ogres is going to be better combatant, so the Death caster is going to fuck off. Blackguard of Naggaron joining the fight against the Saber-Tusk pack and the Crushers. Crushers trying to push through them, just get out of that anti-large halberd and get moving. Sky Striders are beating up these Colton Dread Knights, but the Hellbrunei nearby. Plus, it looks like some archer support from the Scourge Runners and Bolt Throwers is actually meaning the Dark Elves are holding that one okay. Rakarth is overcommitting a little bit to finishing off this Iron Blaster. It is very scary. You don't want it to come back. I understand that, but he is needed elsewhere. He needs to be cycle charging or rear charging with his Manticore and lowering the Ogre's leadership down. As you can see, they're just pushing through the front line. One of the Bolt Throwers is already down. The other one is not long for this world as the Sky Striders put their clubbing eyes over here. And that is both Bolt Throwers down. Now, the Dark Elves are slightly up on the damage value and slightly up on the balance of power, and I tend to agree with both things. Plus, their Murderous Prowess has not been popped yet, so they will get a stat buff pretty soon. But still, things are looking scary as both Bolt Throwers are officially gone. Now, Rakarth shattered the Iron Blaster. Great job for you. You need to come home now, though. And things are going okay. There is a Bone Crusher that'll catch a few Blackguard models, but the whole Blackguard is really spread out, so it can be rather difficult to get a nice spell off onto them. And we'll see, yeah, it just does a tickling of damage, so there wasn't too many models beneath it. Dark Elves coming back, doing pretty good. Balance of power swings slightly in their favor, and has Murderous Prowess popped yet? It still hasn't popped? What do you need to pop that thing? Most of your army's fucking dead. When is it going to go off? I actually forget. Because is it damage Dark Elves take, or is it damage Dark Elves do? Because if it's damage they take, it should have fucking popped by now. But it's been a while since I've actually paid attention to that spell. Anyway. There it is. Murderous Prowess finally pops, but pretty much the only units that get to use it are these 2 Blackguard of Naggaron. So that is underwhelming. I guess the Hellbrunei too. It's not a lot of units. It would have been nice if it had popped while the Dread Spears were still alive. Crushers of great weapons are trying to chase down the Sorceress of Death. Now, they're doing that dumb ogre thing that sometimes ogres do, and this is what people complain about a lot, and why ogres aren't S tier, is they can get caught up on their own models and not surround something properly. But big snipe attempt here from Rakarth. This could be huge in the game, because I think right now, if just left their own devices, ogres will grind through the Blackguard of Naggaron. They're strong units, but I mean, come on. You can't kill this many ogres. But Rakarth is absolutely destroying the Slaughtermaster, who just refuses to move. He keeps staggering. He's just standing there like a dumbass. And now he starts to move, but these Ogre Bulls with dual weapons have to be brought in to block up Rakarth in some way. And an immediate tear out causes the Slaughtermaster to fuck off in the wrong direction. Crushers with great weapons all coming back, just trying to bail out the Slaughtermaster, but Rakarth does not miss with his 61 melee attack plus a 31 bonus versus large. His melee attack is just a consistent 92, and he isn't missing shit. That Ogre Lord just straight up died as Rakarth takes him out. Dark Elves do take a lead on the balance of power, and I would tend to agree. The Sky Striders and the other Crushers are going to have to do some insane work. They get attack orders onto Rakarth, who's also surrounded by Ogre Bulls. We saw this recently in a game for me against Empire with the same thing. If Crushers surround a Lord who's on top of a big mount, they can straight up zero him, and Rakarth is desperately trying to push through these Ogres. He needs to leave. He's like, God, good God, let me out of here. Get this guy off of me! But Spirit Leech does shatter the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. It doesn't actually kill him just yet. The Ogres don't take a big leadership debuff, but it is bad. Rakarth's still surrounded, still in big danger, and where are the Sky Striders? They're going to have to put this game on their back. If they can get good charges on the Blackguard of Nagaron, they can maybe turn this game around. Balance of power is favoring the Dark Elves, and I agree. This is a crucial moment. Can Rakarth get back into the sky? If he can, I will put all my weight behind the Dark Elves. I think they have won it. But if he is stuck on the ground any longer, he could go down. He just can't push through the thick lads. But he's trying. He's slowly edging out. Looks like the Sky Striders are coming over. If the Sky Striders can get here, now they're very far away, but if they can get here and do this attack angle, Rakarth is 100% dead. But he is trying so hard to push out, and this is the Ogres thing. It's their literal whole faction identity is just holding something in place. Rakarth was stuck on the ground forever, but he does push out, and he is able to get back up into the sky, and I think that should be enough for the Dark Elves to win it. Should. Where's the Hydra? Rakarth is cool. He is cool. I was just saying, it's like, every time we talk about this matchup, I'm like, I think Dark Elves are favored, and then someone takes a non-meta build, and my chat just gives me shit all day. So, the Crushers of Great Weapons are going to go fight the Cold One Dread Knights. The Hellebroni are almost out of juice. We do have a 1/3 or 1/4 HP Blackguard, and we have a 2/3 HP Blackguard up on the other side. Now, the Sky Striders and these other Crushers are going to have to get some serious cycle charging done if they want to win this game, but oh, this is a big moment. Rakarth opted back into a fight with the very things that counter him. Now, he is trying to support his Cold and Dread Knights, but the Sky Striders are here. The Sky Striders are very healthy. Is that a Fate of Buna? That's a Fate of Buna. I don't know how much it's going to do. I legitimately don't know how much Fate of Buna does to something with only 12 models. I know it does a lot to Cav and, like, infantry that have tons of models, but it might not be even as effective as Spirit Leech. Now, the Sky Striders had an awkward attack angle. They aren't quite able to surround Rakarth, but you can still see how much damage he takes if the Crushers can actually catch up to him. Terror Route comes in on the normal Crushers. The Sky Striders still taking a decent amount of damage from the Fate of Buna, and they are pushing forward. They're trying to constantly apply their slow debuff to him. Rakarth's speed is down to 60, and flying units in general on the ground don't usually get their true speed. So 60 is actually a lot slower, and the Sky Strider is just going to keep on his ass. Cold of Dread Knights fighting at the very end, nice for them, and Blackguard and Nagaron slowly joining the fight. I still think the Sky Striders are going to take a lot of damage, but maybe if they can kill Rakarth, maybe it's worth it. There's a lot of maybes in that sentence, but technically, yeah. Karth getting sniped down, Sky Striders keeping him on the floor. 4 on the floor, he can't get out. But also, I mean, this ain't for free. There is a Bolt Thrower back online, chucking bolts their way. Blackguard, Cold and Dread Knights, everything's hitting them for this snipe attempt onto Rakarth. It ain't cheap. Another Spirit Leech onto the Sky Striders. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They will kill Rakarth. I just don't know if they'll be able to carry the rest of the game off of that. But he's dead. He's dead and he's down. Sky Striders' leadership spikes negative for just a brief moment. They're now trying to fuck off, but I don't know if they can even get out of here. Their speed is 64. Cold and Dread Knights are after him, and yeah, they actually route. So with all the Crushers routing, I don't know what can kill these Blackguard. I think that might be GG. And army losses is even going to hit. That was a wild game, though. To be fair, theoretically, Rakarth is anti-large. He is. It's just like Malice and Malekith are so cost-effective. Ogres are favored in this matchup. Chariots did get deleted, yeah. Blackguard don't kill stuff particularly easily. It's total of kills. Oh, interesting. Rakarth's doing good damage. Rakarth did fine. I will give him that for raised. Charybdis plus Marathi is the real meta here. Oh, hell yeah. How does it feel to be vindicated? It feels good. It feels good. It feels good. All right. Slaughtermaster didn't get great value, but he's a support lord, so you don't expect that out of him. Ogre Bulls did fine. Noblars did well. Saber-Tusk Packs did okay, trying to support the fight. The Crushers did very, very nicely. And the Iron Blaster did well at the start, and then Rakarth and a lot of assets from the Dark Elves chased it down, really knocked it out of that game, so that was just good play from Raced. I don't think the Iron Blaster did poorly. I think it got sniped out. I think there's a difference there. So I think this build from Koops is good. I liked it a lot, actually. On the other side, Rakarth did 2,000 damage value. That was nice. Blackguard and Aggron were really annoying to deal with. Cold and Dread Knights held their own for a very long time in the cav engagement, which is good. Spirit Leech Caster did fine. Scourge Runners and Bolt Throwers struggled to really get their value out, and Dread Spears did fine as a front line. Hellebronai actually got pretty good value. Poor old Dark Elf Lords with Obsolete Manticore Mounts. That was pretty good. Fucking smoke him if you got him, lads. That was a very GG from both players. That was nice. You'll love to see it. It looks like Salinator has prevailed over Kark, because he was trying to set up a lobby with the Phoenix King. Sorry, I'm just checking on some things. I don't know if Challenge is screwing up or these guys haven't entered their score, but Salinator was looking to fight the Phoenix King. So I'm just going to make sure that is correct. Salinator, another new face I have not seen before. He is playing the Vampire Counts, admittedly a very strong faction, though he has beaten Trigger, Kark, and Bowers. Or Bowers. I'm not sure how you want me to pronounce that, but Bowers/Bowers is newer, but Trigger and Kark are veteran tournament players, so they are very solid wins. Okay, I have to join with this code. Phoenix King thing. Spectator slot is open. And since the Phoenix King isn't here yet, I can assume that if I don't get the blocker up in time, it won't be a big deal. But VC versus High Elves. So, I'm going to let you look at the bracket real quick. Quarterfinals are all done. We are on our semis. Salinator on the Vampire Counts versus Phoenix King on the Asur High Elves. Then we have two Dark Elves on the bottom. And this is the second Dark Elf mirror that Caradoc has had to play. Bowman fought valiantly, but did fall to the Dark Elves. So, will Dark Elves, High Elves, or VC win? These are three of the stronger factions in the game at the moment. We saw Cathay also make a pretty deep run. No one played Warriors of Chaos today, which is interesting. They're also a rather strong faction. So, yeah. I think that's accurate. I don't think that's a shocking conclusion that the semifinals would be High Elves, VC, Dark Elves, Dark Elves. Like, I could see some people expecting Zeniths, stuff like that, but it's not like any of these factions are particularly low tier. Yeah. High Elves versus Vampire Counts used to be, if everyone knew how the matchup goes, it could be pretty unwinnable for Vampire Counts. But since all the buffs they got,
it got a lot better for them, and then the High Elves got some buffs, and I honestly still I haven't seen it
because they get banned so often. But I haven't seen counts versus the buffed High Elves, so maybe the buffs brought this matchup back to being High Elf favored. I don't know. Bring more skirmishers or shades, less for Karth. Dread Knights have crazy melee defense for Cav. Greases would have won. What up, Cyrus? How you doing? Kark had a good run today. Kark had a real good run. I was out. Yeah, I got knocked out round 1. I played Hanadins, and I brought a Kislev build that I thought could be good, and then when I played it, it just had a lot of build deficiencies and weaknesses, and Hanadins exploited them and kicked my ass. Yeah. Whoops. Whoops. I heard Graveguard got really stupid buffs. They did get a lot of buffs, including magic damage, which is dumb. Are people burnt out of Warriors of Chaos? Like, honestly, that seems to be the case, because they didn't get nerfed or anything. And whenever I play Chaos or play against Chaos, they seem strong. Not, like, super overpowered strong, but strong. I don't know. People just seem to like the demonic gods a lot more. And as I mentioned earlier with, like, the meta stuff, like, someone was asking if they should start playing this game, and I said if you've never played since Immortal Empires, like, competitively, then yeah, it's fun. Because most people burned out or left the game not because the game's in a bad state. Like, its state has flaws, but this is probably the second best competitively the game's ever been. I'd say post Silence and the Fury hotfix, the end of Warhammer 2 was really good competitive, like, phase. Like, any faction could be any faction. Right now, the balancing is okay. There's some serious fuck-ups, but most tournament rules kind of factor in for that. Like, global bans take out vampire counts a lot of the time. They're too strong, right? So, like, don't get me wrong on all that stuff. But a lot of people left not because the game's not fun. It's just because the meta's been stagnant since Mortal Empires release. So the same, in the last 6 months, the same factions are strong. Like, VC, Warriors of Chaos, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, Cathay, Dark Elves are all super top tier. And then High Elves got some buffs in that time that made them top tier, but that's not a big change. Oh, Skaven are also quite top tier. So, like, some people just burnt out of the meta and left, but
if you haven't been playing, then yeah, the game's fun right now, in my opinion. We're just waiting on a patch. And hopefully the next patch isn't like a bullshit patch like the last couple have been kind of pussyfooting around the issues, you know, where it's like, oh, VC are way too strong, you said? Well, what if we had 50 gold to Skeleton Spearmen? Okay, that fixed it. All right, the whole faction is fixed. And it's like, what about giving like 6 more units of regen that didn't previously have regen? What about healing buffs going into game 3 at all hitting the whole roster? What about undead leadership being way too high? What about crumbling not mattering at all? What about ultra unit size giving them too much health pools? Like all this stuff. And they're like, no, 50 gold on Spearmen. They fixed it. Fixed the whole faction. So it's like, we're hoping the next patch, and I've been talking to them behind the scenes, and I'm like, come on, guys. You know, we're hoping the next patch is actually substantial. So. I'm back to it for the team. Degenerate High Elf box. It's time to play Warriors of Chaos again. Let's go. Do Dowie not be VC anymore? If Great Guard, Great Weapon Reach, Healing Cap, I don't see Dowie doing anything. Yeah, because that's another thing that got bad for that matchup is Dwarves don't have magic resist anymore. They have spell resist. So anything that the vampire counts have that does magic damage does better. So hex wraiths are better. They're not great, but they're better. And then also any ethereal unit got 100% armor piercing, so that also got better. And yeah, and now Graveguard get through physical resist, they get through Slayers easier. It's just like VC got a lot of buffs. I would also like the targeting priority to be fixed. Yeah. Like there's some stuff that definitely needs to be fixed, but I think like I don't think Warhammer 3 is currently a bad game. I think there's a lot that could be done to make it a great game, but I think it's good. I've been enjoying it. I mean, I'm still fucking streaming it, you know. I haven't left. All right. We have the Scions of Mathlen Spearmen, giving everybody damage resist as long as the Winds of Magic power is up. We have triple Phoenix Guard, the Everqueen's Court Guard, who give some Winds of Magic regeneration, but are also Sisters of Avalorn. We have an Arcane Phoenix, a Star Dragon, and a Lariel. This is the old unbeatable build from the High Elves. This is old.
Now we'll see if it can stand up to the new and improved vampire counts. For Salinator, we do have triple Vargeist. Nope, double Vargeist, a Blood Knight, double Crypt Horror. We have a Mortis Engine, a whole bunch of Graveguard, Skeleton Spearmen, and Zombies. And that looks like it. No Vanguard shenanigans. Now, one problem, why this build I consider it is outdated. It might still be good, but why it's outdated is the Phoenix Guard have a very high physical resist. Graveguard do magic damage all of a sudden, so the physical resist matters less. Alarielle gives a physical resist aura. Well, there's more magic damage, so the physical resist matters less. Vargeist got a bunch of buffs, got some healing buffs, and that makes the air fight a lot easier to win. Tempest took some serious nerfs. It's almost a worthless spell now. So in the air blob fight, Tempest is less punishing. It means the vampire counts have a lot more teeth. And the Blood Dragon Lord got a bunch of buffs as a duelist, so he can actually outduel a Star Dragon as long as all of his buffs are popped. So all these things are what made this build previously strong, and now it's been a little outdated. We'll see. Now, you still have to play very well as the counts to win against this build. The High Elves definitely have an easier... with this build, they have a much bigger ease of execution. A distant breath attack, gonna hit the Sisters of Avalorn and do a ton of damage. That is great breath attack usage, knowing that at a distance you do more area damage, and up close you do more single target. Is that a Wind of Death? That's a fucking Wind of Death! It does a little bit of poke damage on the Phoenix Guard, so I don't think it was overcasted, but still. Vargeist getting hit with the Tempest. The damage on it is rather... meh. You see why that's Overcasted Tempest too. That's Overcasted Tempest. Do you see this spell? Oh, that video hasn't released yet. Spoilers. That spell is the worst spell in the whole game. In the whole fucking game. It sucks ass. Anyway, spoilers. Mortis Engine, now credit to Phoenix King. While the Vampire Counts have been making some great plays, he is also doing well. The Star Dragon focusing down this Mortis Engine, gonna try and take it out. It needs healing and it needs support because it is gonna be crucial in finishing off all of these Phoenix Guard. Does not look like it's going to get the support in time. Now, the Vampire Count's player is doing his best. He's got Crypt Horrors and Vargeist all surrounding the Star Dragon while he's trying to pull the Mortis Engine out, but it needs a single target Invocation to Heck or something. Just something to give it a little bit more of a boost as it keeps crumbling down, and away. Also, another thing you could use is a Corpse Cart. Corpse Carts give pretty insane melee attack buffs, but we will see. Mortis Engine still trying to just get out of here and stay alive. Another nice breast attack from the Blood Dragon Lord, almost taking out the Upper Queen's Court Guard, just trying to eliminate any ranged presence they have whatsoever. Larielle throws out her first heal, but while this is all going okay for sniping out the Mortis Engine and stuff, that also means you have a Star Dragon stuck on the ground next to all these Vargeists and Crypt Horrors, and you see it's taking a lot of damage. The Vampire Counts are actually up in damage value, which is not something you get to say very often. And the Mortis Engine, almost dead, but not quite. And as long as it is not quite, it is going to be training down the Phoenix Guard and everything around here. And another Wind of Death is cast out. It looks like it was undercast, just trying to do a little bit more damage to the Scions of Mathlon. And another Vampire Counts Zombie Summon is landing. The Ever Queen's Court Guard are already routing. Mortis Engine is gone. Alarielle is very wounded, and she throws out an Overcast of Earthblood on her whole crew. Can the High Elves hold? I mean, my brain says yes, but my heart says maybe. The Blood Dragon Lord, if he's cheeky, might want to land here, and it looks like he will. Very good play from Salinator. I have never heard of this person, but they have a lot of their fundamentals quite down. This could be a big mistake from the Phoenix King, as Alarielle gets baited to the ground following the Blood Dragon Lord who landed. Now she's stuck in a fight with Blood Knights, with Vargeist, and with him. She's going to have to run away, and the Blood Knights don't quite get a full surround. Their models weren't quite done yet. Can she get back in the air? It looks like she probably can. But the Scions of Mathlon are starting to leave the box. It looks like they're trying to screen out for Alarielle, get her away from all of these things, but that does leave the Phoenix Guard having it open behind. Now, Vampire Counts used to have a Mortis Engine, and that was very good. That was quite a good thing for the build. I think this guy's one less breath attack. It's going to have to be a doozy of a breath attack, because these Phoenix Guard are a problem right now. Scions of Mathlon are terror routing. I don't think they'll actually route. They should be just fine. The Star Dragon overshoots his attack onto the Blood Dragon Lord. The Blood Dragon Lord is going to get back up into the sky. No, he's just going to charge off. He's going to run away. Blood Knight's a little lost in the sauce. Should be able to chase down the Ever Queen's Court Guard soon, though. And the Phoenix gets another nice fire poop. High Elves are very, very far ahead in the balance of power at this point, and I would tend to agree. I think the Vampire Counts build was strong. I think their play was overall good, but some things just did not go their way. Should just keep mana up for 2 Winds of Death. Maybe. I feel worried for my Everqueen. Only acceptable time to pause. Morale nerf patch for the undead. There's a breath attack somewhere. Oh, breath attack was at L'Ariel. That's a bit odd. I wonder if that was an accident or intentional, but yeah, it mostly just missed her. What are the chances Salinator is another Void Alt? I don't think that's true, but sure. Because he also, I'm noticing he didn't bring the Sword of Antiheroes or the Helm of Discord. He didn't bring the Helm of Discord, which is on, which is not a Void Laws move. So yeah, maybe that. Maybe prioritizing the Mortis engine a little bit more. But overall, I think the build was fine from Salinator. Probably get a Corpse Cart, get those buffs onto the Blood Dragon Lord, and then maybe cut, I don't know, the Blood Knight? I'm not sure what the Blood Knight's going to do here. But Star Dragon, Arcane Phoenix did fine, L'Ariel did fine, Phoenix Guard just ground through a bunch of stuff, and the Evergreen's Court Guard got shut down, but they're nice support. Probably just going to full Grave Guard, Great Weapon spam Dan's Macabre. Pit of Shades could have been fun, yeah. Lots of stuff, but that was one semifinal. The other semifinal, Caradoc has sent me an invite code, and I will get in there as soon as possible. It's the Dark Elf Mirror. This does mean High Elves are in the finals. That's not the code. That's the code. But something doesn't look right about that, so I'm just going to delete everything. Hey, stop it. Stop it. God damn it. Sorry, this thing's being dumb. Code. There we go. Game is full. That makes sense. 1, 2, 3, and let's go get blocker up before people yell at me. Boom. Barely got it. 2 games left. Dark Elves versus Dark Elves, and then Dark Elves versus High Elves. It's a bold prediction, but I do think the final's going to be Dark Elves versus High Elves. Need great weapons for the Graveguard, yeah. All right, we're in. These guys have been in the lobby for a while, so they should be just about ready behind the blocker. I'll message Phoenix King to make sure. Not make sure. Ask if he can host the next lobby. Two games left. I will start this poll now. Who wins it all? Because it applies for both. Dark Elves or High Elves? I'm not gonna, I mean, the meme is, haha, the mirror match, who wins, Dark Elves, Dark Elves. Yeah. But for the final, which of our Dark Elf champions will fight the Phoenix King? And when they do, who will prevail? Do Vargulfs still stunlock SCMs and heroes? Vargulfs are still fine. I honestly know very little about the Vampire Counts meta because they are banned so frequently that we just don't have a large volume of games of watching them. Caradoc had to play Dark Elf Mirror before our games, straight into Dark Elf Mirror. All right. Raced, spicing it up. He has the Dreadlord, Sword and Shield on foot with just Foe Seeker. Then a Sorceress of Death with Fate of Yuna and Spirit Leech on a horse. And this leaves us with a lot of money for a wider build. 3 Scourge Runner Chariots, 2 Cold One Dread Knights, Bleak Swords, Black Ark Corsairs, Sisters of Slaughter, Sisters of Singing Doom, ROR, and then a Blood Rack Shrine, which is currently bugged to triple attack, but it is not banned in this tournament at all, so this is not a problem. For anybody out there who's like, isn't that unit bugged? Yes, but it's allowed. That's fine. It's fine. I know some ODM tournaments ban them, and that's also fine. I'm just saying it's not banned here, so don't worry about it. So while you go super cheap Lord to go quote-unquote wider, the wideness is a bunch of expensive as fuck units. Sisters aren't cheap, Sisters Other aren't cheap, Scourge Runners aren't cheap, and the Blood Rack Shrine is not. So that is an elite build with a very strange Lord. On the other side, for Caradoc, we do have double Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows, Crows of Cain, some more Dark Rider support, Trip Cold One Knight, the Sisters of Singing Doom as well, so Sisters of Singing Doom mirror, Black Ark Corsairs, Bleak Swords, and Malekith up on a dragon. This is a much more meta build from Caradoc, with a little bit of spice in the Sisters of Singing Doom and the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbows, but Raced's build is allspice. That shit is straight Cajun. Take a tablespoon of it, shove it in your eyes, and blink a bunch. That is all this is. All I know is Vargulf's attack speed is double that of almost anything else in the game, yeah. To the whole chat, I find your lack of faith disturbing. Yeah. Alrighty, we're about ready to start this thing off. Outgrind the Miscaven, it's hard. Yeah, outgrinding the Council Skaven is really difficult currently. Scourge Runners are off. It's the battle of meta versus meta, which is funny because Caradoc didn't bring any Scourge Runners, which are super meta in almost every matchup, and they're very strong. But then Caradoc did bring Malekith, and the other side brought a fucking Dreadlord. So it's which meta unit is more powerful, Malekith and Soul Stealer or Scourge Runners? Okie dokie. There's going to be a bit of a setup phase as the blue Dark Elves want to line up and get us around better. They want to use their skirmish cap to their advantage, and the red Dark Elves just want to shoot Malekith for free for a while. But a huge Gaze of Malice actually does like a quarter of those Sisters of Singing Doom HP. It was impossible till Gorge. Gotta love Gorge. Gorge actually does feel good recently. I will give you that. I've been enjoying Gorge a lot. Again, there's going to be a bit of a setup phase for this one. I'm not shocked that neither army is super keen to just run at the other one right now, because you see the blue army is a bit off kilter. They're trying to figure out how to deal with that. They kind of want to line up so they can get straight on engagements, but now the red army is moving away from them, so they need to move further unless they just accept they're going to come in at an awkward angle. They don't really want to do that. And also the Cav superiority is mixed, because while blue has twice as many Cav units, or more than that, you don't want to 1v1 the Cold and Dread Knights. Also, Caradoc wants to be careful to take a fight only when it's 2 or 3 versus 1. And never get caught out in a situation where it's just Cold and Dread Knight versus blank, because the Dread Knights will win. Repeater crossbows have moved up and started to tee off a little bit. Scourge Runner Chariots will counterfire against them and do decently, but the Scourge Runners have extremely limited ammunition. They can shoot Malekith or they can shoot the Skirmish Cav, but not both. So far, Raced is enjoying this phase more than Caradoc is, I think. I mean, he is up a little bit on the damage value, but it's also just playing a little more into his comfort. Yeah, I think Caradoc needs to take some of his more numerous cavalry around the sides and really pressure the backfield. But looks like he's busy just trying to dodge with Malekith and stuff, so he's got other things going on. Bloodrack Medusa taking pot shots, and fucking Raced is chasing down Caradoc. He's like, come here. I don't care if you have more infantry and more cavalry. You come here. We're starting this fight today. Bloodrack Shrine is trying to get some free shots on the Blackheart Corsairs, but another Gaze of Malice is going to hit the Sisters of Singing Doom. And man, that entire unit's almost deleted already. Caradoc's taking him down. Malekith decides to land these Blackheart Corsairs for a second, dodges some more Scourge Runner fire, and the Scourge Runners are running really low on ammunition, or at least mostly this one is. So the Bloodrack Shrine is teeing off its people. It's also down to about half ammo, but I think Grace has been happy with it so far. Sure, he's using all his ammo, but he's hitting shit. He's doing good damage. Dark Rider Peter Crossbows had to fall back, and Cold One Knights and Dark Riders are just trying to avoid these Dread Knights. But here we go. Cav in the backfield starting to come in now, really using their numbers to surround and push the Scourge Runners to their limit. Just, you gotta deny them space at this point. You gotta harass them. Get on top of them. Where are the Cold One Knights? There's triple Cold One Knights. They gotta go do something. These ones are running away from Sisters of Slaughter. The other two are just starting to come in now, but Malekith helps the Bleak Swords break through the front line, and here we go. Scourge Runners are forced to run. When they're running, they can't as accurately shoot at Malekith. Cold One Knights lose a bit of... They lose the plot. They're sitting there, waiting to get involved. One Scourge Runner's almost out of ammo. I mean, it has literally 2 volleys left. What is this? It's a Fate of Buna, judging by how long it's taken to cast, but what's it on? Fate of Buna onto the Sisters of Singing Doom? What the fuck? That is a huge investment. I think that was a miscast. I don't know, I think that was a mistake from Race. That unit was almost dead already. They didn't need that shit. Soul Stealer plus just a metric fuck ton of Velociraptors and Dark Elves are tearing apart the Coldland Dread Knights. They are not having a good time over there. Meanwhile, Coldland Knights in the back are trying to peel off the Sisters of Slaughter from the Reaper Cav, and one Coldland Dread Knight from Raced was dragged across the map by the Dark Riders of Caradoc. That is a mistake from him, a good play by Caradoc to just pull that expensive unit away from the fight so far that it will not return before this game has been decided one way or the other. Bloodrock Shrine is trying to fight its way out of Coldland Knights and is taking a lot of damage, though it's dealing a lot of damage back. Scourge Run Chariots getting pushed off. Only the one without any ammunition is really feeling the love right now. And Malekith and the superior Dark Elf infantry of the blue team have pushed through the red side. Caradoc pulls the balance of power into his favor, and the damage value right back to even. Now the Dreadlord and Spirit Leechcaster are trying to hold on. And the expensive Sisters of Slaughter, plus these Coldland Dread Knights, are out in the middle of nowhere picking a fight. Sure, they'll win, but it's so far from home. Spider-Man Far From Home edition. These Scourge Run Chariots opting into a little bit of melee. It looks like they're trying to bail out this Bloodrock Shrine, but they should probably back off, and I don't know what's going to stop Malekith at this point. I don't even know if the full health Coldland Dread Knights can come over here and carry this game, because look at all these repeater crossbows that are going to have a fun time shooting at them. And then you're really expecting Coldland Dread Knights to grind through Black Arc Corsairs, Bleak Swords, all these things that are super healthy. Scourge Run Chariots wiggling like fucking madmen, but they are trying to shoot Malekith, who has taken a lot of damage, and he's thrown out a couple Soul Stealers, so his healing cap's probably right around the corner, but I don't think they have enough DPS to really knock him down. Bloodrock Shrine gets gadded by our boy Malekith. And I think the wider build of the Dark Elves is going to prevail at the end of the day. It's looking like, though, little slip up. Caradoc's micro is elsewhere as his Reaper repeater crossbow cav does get caught by the Coldland Dread Knights. Going to take a lot of damage and push them out of here. Oh, is this game over? I don't know. I think it is. I do think that if Caradoc took his hands off the keyboard, he would probably still win at this point. I think it was an admirable attempt by Race. Admirable, not admiral attempt, but yeah. I don't see what can kill Malekith that's left. Caradoc's got too much left. Another Scourge Runner is pushed off. It is a full health Coldland Dread Knight and the Dreadlord and the Spirit Leech Caster versus the world. And the world is a big place, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big place. A 4-fun Soul Stealer. Do a little bit of damage over here and heal up Malekith. What is that? A Fate of Buna cast on these Coldland Knights. Huh. Yeah, that's better. I like that cast. Caradoc surges into the lead, though. 2,000 plus gold value up, and these Coldland Dread Knights are just surrounded by random garbage. Start riding my way. It's Phoenix, not Phaonix. Black Knight. Oh wait, Vargolf's lost their regen. It's Hunger now? Really? I didn't know that. Army losses is hitting now, and while we salute Race's bravery...
I mean, like, it's not like Caradoc went full meta either. He didn't bring Scourge Runners at all. But the Dreadlord Sword and Shield might have been one meme too much.
And our finals will be Caradoc and the Phoenix King. Malekith did great. Coldland Knights did excellently. Sure, one of them got shut down, but the other two just slammed this thing. Peter Crossbows had a hard time really getting any fights off, and the Chaff frontline did fine. The other side, Dreadlord struggled. Bloodrock Shrine did great. Coldland Dread Knights struggled with their value back because there was just so much shit they had to get through. Spirit Leech Caster did fine. Triple Scourge Runners did okay, but didn't quite pay for themselves. And that is that. All right, Believe in Asur Supremacy is here. And we're going. He's saying you're an imposter. We have 2 high elf mains fighting. That's fun. Say change his name to the Felix King and starts maining Dowie. That's Sabrus Regnum's territory. You respect it. What happened to Khorne, super buff duelist? Khorne sucks, man. Khorne sucks. Did he put a spec slot up yet? No. I want a spec slot! Give me a spec slot! Give me it! Give me my spec slot! Whew, this fucking guy. This fucking guy. $38 votes and 65 viewers. Ratboy bought some bots. Yes, I did. Wow, Dark Elves kind of slammed that vote. 69%, very nice. Couldn't she reach over 1,000 weapon strength? She could, but so can the Blood Dragon Lord, and that bitch can heal himself. Now, is he on the Dark Elf roster? No, but just saying. Believe in Aster Supremacy. There's the spec slot we have long desired. Where's the blocker? Boop. Okay. We in. Most people not believing the High Elves, and to be fair, memes aside, you guys might have a point. This matchup is Dark Elf favored. Scourge Chariots are very, very difficult for the Acer to deal with. It usually comes down to Malekith and Imrik having a pissing contest in the sky, but Scourge Runners can support the sky fight much more than High Elves can. Is it unwinnable? No, but it is tough. It is very tough for the High Elves. So I sympathize. For the Dark Elves, all of their meta stuff is rather good against the High Elves. And while they don't have as good of Cav as the High Elves do, it's like close. You know, it's close enough that that's not really something you can usually leverage to win the whole battle. Like Dragon Prince is outperforming Cold One Knights. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's true. But the Dragon Princes are going to take a lot of damage in the trade, and just nothing can handle Scourge Runners particularly effectively. When has the Blood Dragon Lord been able to reach 1k? It's new, yeah. This tourney hovered around 69 viewers, nice. It was rather nice. Strat Game, we were talking about you earlier. We were talking mad shit. I was saying you never support my content and you've always been a bully. A bully and a meanie. Halves of no AP Cav? Yep. It's true. It's true, and it's a bit of a problem. Here it is. For all the talk of Grand Cathay and Vampire Counts and Chaos and Zinch and Slanesh and all the shit people talking, the finals is underpowered, underloved High Elves and underpowered, underloved Dark Elves. Strange. Strange. But Human Boy, not a lot of people picked Cathay. But Human Boy, not a lot of people picked Vampire Cast. But Human, no. This was a perfect scientific study, and I think we can all agree that I'm great and you're all wrong. Hi, Chasing Rainbows. How you doing, man? They have better skirmish cap, though. I mean, Illyrian Reaver archers are okay. I'm not a believer. I know some big high elf brains out there really like Illyrian Reaver archers. I don't think they're a bad unit. I just think they're overhyped. Better than Dark Rider crossbows, yes. Scourge Runners will win the skirmish for Dark Elves. Big true. Finals is just best of one. So this is the last game of the day. And this is for all the marbles. Most of you have gotten behind Caradoc votes-wise. But we'll see if Phoenix King can pull a little upset. Little upset arena. Finals the best of one? Yes, it is. Because you never know what matchup the finals is going to be, and sometimes the best of 3 can just be painful. Like, imagine a Khorne versus Nurgle best of 3 finals. Or Skaven versus Dwarves. It's just like, Let's just do best of 1. There's no prize. The prize is just the glory of victory. So it's not like really matters that much. Go on, Phoenix King. Smash him! He's gonna try. You saw it on multiplayer scene that I don't know who's OP anymore. I have a tier list video that's out, but generally it's like the top tier general consensus would be like VC, Grand Cathay, and Vampire Coast, and then like the right behind them tier is High Elves, Dark Elves, Skaven, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, Tomb Kings, Empire, in my opinion, but Empire could also be 1 tier down depending on who you're asking. And then like there's a bunch of people, and then down in the struggling, really need help areas like Wood Elves. Bretonnia, to be honest, is not that great in like a lot of competitive matchups. Like, Bretonnia still does well versus other bottom tier factions, but versus top tier factions, Bretonnia really struggles, in my experience. Beastmen could use a little help in some departments, but not a lot of help. I'm trying to think of other factions that like need help. I think I said Wood Elves, but in case I didn't. Wood Elves. Nurgle, in my opinion, Nurgle needs some help. Nurgle's lords and heroes don't need buffs at all. They're plenty fine, maybe even OP, but the rest of his roster could use a bit of a kick in the pants. I think Khorne's infantry could use help. Khorne's monstrous infantry, cab, and single entities are all fine. They're all totally fine at the moment. Khorne's actually been rising up the ranks of popular factions, but Khorne's infantry just fucking blows, and it shouldn't. Like, that's not a thing Khorne is balanced around, and that's why I think it's fucked up, is not like... Khorne's faction isn't actually that terrible of a place, but like... Chaos Warriors of Khorne should be the best Chaos Warriors, in my opinion, because that's like his fucking thing. Marauders of Khorne should be the best Marauders. You know, Chosen of Khorne should be the best Chosen, and they're just not. Like, they're just not. Chaos Warriors of Khorne are fine, but Chaos Warriors of Nurgle are better. Marauders of Khorne are fine, but Marauders of Slaanesh are better. Bloodletters are tied with Demonettes for maybe the worst tier 2 demon thing. By tier 2, I mean like Plague Bearers, right? Because you wouldn't compare Bloodletters to Nurglings. They're not in the same price category. So Plague Bearers are better than Bloodletters and Demonettes. Pink Horrors are better than Bloodletters and Demonettes. So it's like, okay, well, Bloodletters kind of fucking suck. So I don't know. Khorne's infantry like should be one of their prime things. And they're just not. Now the Minotaur buffs brought Khorne back into viability, but I still would like to see Khorne's infantry get some love. Alright, let's go heavy metal. None of this Ponzi kite. I've just made it just in time for everything to be over. Yeah, screwed. We had a ton of signups today, but it's still a single faction best of 1 tournament, so it's going to go fast. British scientists found out elves not to be as hated as people make them out to be. Go on Phoenix King, go on smash him, yeah. The prize is a kiss from Human Boy. Ooh, woo. Scourge Runners are way underpriced, yeah. Bowman's coming out swinging, yeah. Ogre's doing decently, yeah. Lucinia, what happened to Greenskins? Skirmish Cav, with all the health bars rising, Skirmish Cav doesn't do as much like percentage health. You know what I mean? Because we went to Ultra. So their Skirmish Cav can't carry them quite as hard. Leadership is a huge problem for the Greenskins. Grom the Paunch is now a fine lord instead of being overpowered. Yeah. And Greenskins Lore of Magic got kind of punched in the mouth pretty hard. Now it's not terrible, but it went from being like good to being fine. Because Vindictive Glare spam isn't a thing. Like, it's not as powerful as it used to be. You can still like cast a bunch of Vindictive Glares, but they're not gonna delete an enemy lord like they used to. Gaze of Mork is kind of the same way. And the meta right now, well, as Cool Umbrella keeps sending me, Greenskin Infantry are not doing well in ultra unit size. He's done a bunch of tests that on large size Savage Orc Biggins will plow through Lothern Sea Guard about 2 minutes faster than ultra unit size, and sometimes they even just lose to like Lothern Sea Guard or Spearmen or something like that. Like, I don't remember the test exactly, but it was like, with the games lasting longer, Greenskin's whole thing of slam in a wah, hit you, and try to get through and start routing some stuff. Ultra unit size is too slow, and they usually get like 2 wahs, but it's very hard to get a third. And by then, a lot of their units are suffering. And also, Game 3 has like this weird thing where there's a huge, and I can't tell you why, but just saying, if you're a high leadership faction, you're nearly unbreakable. If you're a low leadership faction, you break like you did in Warhammer 2, but there's some weird little difference here that the high tier factions got like a subtle leadership buff. Like, the numbers didn't change, but the behavior changed. So it's a lot harder for Greenskins to route any high leadership stuff. While their stuff, still, if you get it to like half HP, that shit's probably piecing out. So that's largely why Greenskins went down. Now, I don't think Greenskins are terrible. They need some help, sure, but I don't think they're terrible. But to answer your question why they went from top tier to mid or bottom, that would be why. All Horde factions took a big hit on ultra unit size. Yeah, Scroot's on top of it. Need a wider roster. Yep, I agree, Yoni. I agree. I never see the Ragnarok Spy Diver. Cool Umbrella brings it for his Lord a lot. Yeah, it's not as popular anymore because its leadership's just too low. It can get routed off quite easily these days. I get what you're saying, Yoni. Yee. I do hope... Ooh, Kislev, that's a good call out. Kislev needs a wider roster. I low-key love Kislev, but they could use a DLC for sure. Like, I know people hate their Unbreakable passive, but the faction itself I just find fun. I don't know. I think Kislev's unique. Love him or hate him, you gotta admit they're unique. Another good one is the lore of the ROR. Yeah. Alright, armies are set up and we're off on our final game of the day. So Phoenix King does have an Archmage of Metal on Eagle with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom. We have 2 Lothern Sea Guard with shields in the back. 3 archers in the middle, 2 more Lothern Sea Guard with shields on the side. So 4 Lothern Sea Guard, 3 archers, a bolt thrower, 2 rangers, Silverin Guard front line, Lyrian Reavers in the back, no elite cav whatsoever. On the other side, we have Malekith on his dragon with Power of Darkness, Soul Stealer, Gaze of Malice, and his Breath Attack, obviously. 2 Scourge Runner chariots, 2 regular Dark Swords, though these do have shields, Black Ark Corsair frontline with Bleak Swords, and then 2 Cold One Knights. I like these builds. These builds are both a little different from the meta. Now, sure, we have 2 Scourge Runners instead of 3, but I mean, like, 2 is plenty. And Malekith, but the rest of this build is not normally what I would see in this matchup. I especially like the Dark Shard inclusion. I think this unit is good. And if Scourge Runners ever get nerfed, I think Dark Shards will see a lot of time in the sun. Black Ark Corsairs are also a very popular unit for Dark Elves right now, and I think the last time I saw this matchup, the Black Ark Corsair did work on the front line, though that is not against the elite Silverin Guard with 54 melee defense and 75 armor. Those guys are going to be rather buff and hard to get through. Bit of a lag spike. We currently have Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers just trying to harass down Scourge Runners, understandably. But again, like the last game, you're going to see a bit of a setup phase as one side wants to skirmish and kind of figure out how to line up their front line, and the other side just wants to sit and shoot. Though this Bolt Thrower is not long for this world, so it looks like Caradoc is betting a lot on being able to finish off the Bolt Thrower. And a big Breath Attack! Oh my god! Oh my god, that was a 500-600 gold Breath Attack! That's an entire dead Silverin Guard! Jesus Christ. That's awful. I love Kislev lore, hate their army. Oh, you meant lore like the story, but yeah. Like, also I think their Lores of Magic need a bit of a redo. I don't honestly like either Kislev Lore of Magic that much. Some of them are like workable, but I don't like them. Nurgle needs a rework for PvP? Yeah, I think so. Like, Hadri's ran into it earlier, where he took really powerful single entities, but outside of that, the rest of his army is just, like, it feels like And, you know, like, Cool Umbrella plays a shit ton of Nurgle, and he really likes them, so he obviously has a different opinion than me. So this is my opinion. But my opinion is whenever I feel like Nurgle, anything besides a Lord or Hero, fights anything else of any other faction, they lose for their cost. And it's brutal. So their single entities are really good, but the rest of their roster, I wish got some love. Looks like Malekith is maybe setting up for another silver card. Cyrus, it says 670, true, but he used the Gaze of Malice before that, so I don't know how much the Gaze of Malice got him. But yes, it said 670. Phoenix King is advancing a little bit. His Bolt Throwers are still online, but they're at 2 out of 4 models now. And it looks like the Scourge Runner fight isn't going very well. Oh, what the fuck? There's a Tyrannok Chariot? When did that get here? Nobody told me. Nobody told me there was a Tyrannok Chariot on this map. Why is there a Tyrannok Chariot here? What the hell? Who takes this thing? Okay. Anyway, big breath attack from Malekith. Silver Guard start to dodge it, and there we go. It takes half their HP instead of all of it, but the High Elves are in a real bad spot. I mean, Caradoc's up like 1.4 damage value, but the Silver Guard are the main holding point for the High Elves against those Black Ark Corsairs, and they've gotten trash canned by these fucking breath attacks. Which, you know, leaves just Rangers to hold back Black Ark Corsairs, which isn't going to work. And the High Elves are relying pretty heavily on their Archers to do most of the DPS in this game, and if they can't be defended, they'll be running away all game. Lyran Reavers dive down the center, actually getting pretty good damage value off on the Black Ark Corsairs, as Rangers are also going to join the fight. Where is that High Elf mage? Oh, she's over here, just vibing with some Lyran Reavers on the flank. But what are the Lyran Reavers going to flank? I guess maybe they can shut down Dark Swords, but this is tough. This is very tough. Big Soul Stealer hits like 4 units. In the backfield, Malekith is walking ominously at them. The Dark Elf superior infantry is just walking around the sides as the Silvern Guard are crumbling. They were, you know, kneecapped before the fight even began, but they are crumbling, so more Dark Elves plus Dark Elves winning the front line. They are going to run at all these archers, and I think we are on our way to a quick GG, and the Dark Elves will probably win this single faction tournament. Really nice cast, plus some crossfire from the Legacy Guard of that Searing Doom. Takes out almost a whole Black Ark Corsair, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As you can see, all these archers of the High Elves are getting locked up in melee combat. They're having a really tough time. A last-ditch effort to Plague of Rust Malekith down to 30 armor and just shoot him with 1,000,000 bows, but there aren't 1,000,000 bows able to fire. He is going to walk away and be just fine. Balance of power is heavily in the favor of the Dark Elves. Damage value is spread out about 2 to 1 in their favor, and Murderous Prowess / Mastery is just now popping as they dive in. Malekith has another breath attack, and I see a big old clump of units, but he's going after the Lava and Sea Guard instead. A nice rotation tries to keep them safe, but another 2/3 HP gets knocked off of that unit. And the Dark Elves are going to show their true quality. Kislev Magic Evil's Heart of Winter, that's it, yeah. Where's Imrik on his dragon to beat the hell out of Malekith? The Phoenix King doesn't usually take Imrik on his dragon. It's more a Black Knight's thing. It is a bad matchup for the High Elves. It was a bold pick from Phoenix King, and I liked the build, but it just didn't quite work out. Archers couldn't trade well with the Scourge Runner Chariots at all. They couldn't hit it. Caradoc was very on top of his dodging, and then after that, Dark Elves had superior melee. They punched right through it and shut down the High Elves' superior ranged. It was very well played by Caradoc. He did great today. We caught his last 2 games. Yeah, I think we only saw his last 2 games, but clearly made a long run through a tournament because there was a lot of rounds to this. GG, well played to our champion today of VM. Kislev can be very good, just a little bit cost reduction. Void actually wins tournaments even with current Kislev. Yeah, Kislev, nobody said Kislev's bad. Their Lures of Magic are pretty subpar. But Kislev's fine in competitive hands. I know Blood Penguin also really likes them. Was a quick one. Best of 3? Nah. Nah, dude. We out of here. So, we had gigantic viewership today on the stream. Thank you all for everybody who showed up. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Please, we're trying to grow. The growth has been slow because we've been covering Warhammer 3 in the dark days, but it looks like the light is at the end of the tunnel. We have been getting more and more players, more and more viewers, so please help us out with liking, subscribing, or if you hate the content, then unsubscribe, I guess. That's also fine, but sure. Yeah, that's all I got. This week, I'll host another tournament of some kind. I just know it's going to be a busy week. I got work, and then Thursday and Friday, I'm heading to Wisconsin to try and sell board games to nerds. So I'll be at a board game convention holding a booth.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.